Welcome in, everyone. Happy Football Friday. There is real football. We had some last night. College football week 1 kicked off, and what a night it was.
It was. It was a great way to kick it off. And you know what? College football usually has a way of doing that.
Yeah, man. Backyard brawl in Pittsburgh. We had Penn State Purdue was also very entertaining. I had multiple heart attacks. But, it's all right. The good guys got the dub last night. So yeah, we're gonna go over what happened last night's games. We got a crap load of trades in the NFL. We'll talk some college football playoff stuff and NFL news. We'll give you our Heisman picks, our college football playoff picks, and then talk about games tomorrow and one Sunday and tonight. But last night, number 12 Oklahoma State in a high scoring barn burner there. 58-44 over Central Michigan. I know I heard some of the bettors were were killing themselves with this game. At the end, those who were smart bought the half a point because I heard it was 21 and a half and landed right on 21 because CMU scored late. But both quarterbacks, very, very good. 400 yards for both, 4 touchdown passes for both. Spencer Sanders accounted for 6 touchdowns total with 2 rushing ones. He was great on the ground, 11 carries, 57 yards. Lou Nichols scored twice. He's probably their best weapon at Central Michigan this year with Khalil Pimpleton gone at wide receiver. But yeah, I didn't get to watch this game too much. I was focused on other games, but yeah, high scoring one.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch it though, but I did check the score at halftime, and I gotta assume that OSU pulled a lot of their starters because they were up like 44-7 at half. So for it to be, I mean, it sounds ridiculous for it to be as close as it is. That would be my assumption.
Yeah, the betters probably checked that off as a win at halftime. And they did not if they didn't get the extra half a point. Take the points down there. But defensive play of the game for me, I'm probably gonna go with the bottom guy, Tyler Lacey for the Cowboys. 5 tackles, 3 solos, a sack, 2.5 tackles for loss. And like I said, Central Michigan did cover by the hook, plus 21.5 and over 57.5 easily. Backyard brawl, number 17 Pitt getting it done at home, 38-31 over West Virginia. Keaton Slovis, 300-yard night, 1 touchdown. The quarterbacks really didn't score much in a 69-point game. It was a lot of the running game for especially Pitt. But yeah, JT Daniels, both of these guys' first starts with their new teams. Keaton Slovis from USC, JT Daniels from Georgia. Yeah, JT had the game losing pick 6. That's what ended the game essentially. WVU couldn't go down and couldn't score at the end. Incomplete on 4th and whatever it was.
Yeah,
at the 1-yard line.
To qualify it though, the pass wasn't bad. It went straight through the hands. It was an act of God.
Yeah, I was excited. I had Pitt money line in my little parlay that didn't hit because of another game, which we'll talk about. But yeah, it was a very entertaining game and happy to have the the rivalry back. I know being from Pennsylvania, not necessarily from Western Pennsylvania, but being from PA, I knew what this meant to both schools, having been to Pittsburgh a bunch of times for Steelers games. But yeah, running game wise, it's interesting. You see that tight end CJ Donaldson. Yeah, it was weird. He's listed on West Virginia's roster as a tight end, but he does everything. So he was their leading ball carrier, averaging 17.9 yards carry, 7 carries, 125, a touchdown. And then the ground game for Pitt all night was great. Rodney Hammond, especially, he got dinged up there at the end, but 16 carries, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns, also 2 catches for 55 yards. Israel Abanaconda, he scored a 24-yard receiving touchdown, and then Daniel Carter got one in as well. Bryce Ford Wheaton, I knew about him a little bit from WVU last year. He's their leading guy, and he was all night. 9 catches, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. And defensively, I mean, who can you go with? There's a lot of good defensive stats in this game. But obviously, you have to go with the guy that won the game. Defensive back MJ Devonshire for the Panthers, 2 tackles, 1 solo, pass deflection, the 56-yard game-winning pick 6.
Yeah. Pitt has a really underrated defense, in my opinion, this year. And you heard Louis Riddick on the telecast talking a lot about their front, led by Dante Stills, free WVU, and then quite a few guys for Pitt. So, yeah, I mean, even though it was kind of high scoring a little bit, there was definitely some really great defensive efforts down the stretch that kind of defined the game.
West Virginia is another one. They covered. You got to buy those points, buy that half. You'll get like you did on the first 2 games here. West Virginia covered plus 7.5.
Good teams win, great teams cover, right?
That is true. Over 51 easily. Tennessee. Yeah, whenever the font is small, it's either because it's a very high scoring game on both sides, or one side put in their backups and they were still scoring points. That was the case here. Tennessee 59-10 over Ball State. Hendon Hooker was fantastic. 221, 72%, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Joe Milton came in. He only missed one throw. He threw a touchdown, and then Gaston Moore threw a 17-yard completion on his only attempt as well. So Tennessee had 3 quarterbacks, and they missed 8 throws on 35 attempts. So it's pretty decent.
I'll say.
The running game was very good as well for the Vols. Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, Dylan Sampson, all scoring rushing touchdowns, and leading receiver Cedric Tillman. Interesting though, like the receivers for Tennessee, there wasn't really a massive night for anyone. With Tillman being the leading guy, 6 for 68. Kind of weird that didn't happen, but I mean, granted, Hendon Hooker only threw for 221. It's not like they were throwing for a lot of yards in the passing game. They were just scoring touchdowns, which I guess is fine. A good strategy. Tanner Koziel, he scored the only touchdown for Ball. 2 catches, 29 yards for the tight end. And defensively, there's only one guy to pick. Jordan Riley Scott for Ball State, 4 tackles, 3 of them solos, a sack, tackle for loss, pass deflection.
I'm excited to watch Hendon Hooker this season, man. He's really going to be that kind of wild card, I feel like, in the SEC East. Him and Will Levis, depending on how those guys developed in the offseason, could really shake up that division.
Overrated.
You're just saying that because you left Penn State.
Who?
Will Levis.
Oh, no. I was talking about Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
No, I like Levis. Tennessee covered minus 35.5, over 66.5. See, that's what you need. That's what I needed. I needed the team getting blown out to score some points. That's why I lost my parlay. Number 22, Wake Forest over VMI 44-10. Yeah, I had high hopes for VMI in this game. Wasn't sure what Wake was going to look like without Sam Hartman. Turns out Mitch Griffiths can throw the ball. 72.4%, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Seth Morgan and Colin Ironside for VMI did not do much at all. I mean, I don't know how you possibly get 13 completions for 79 yards. Feel like that's very, very low on the yards per completion. But Christian Turner, good for the Demon Deeks. 13 carries, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches, 18 yards there. And then Grant Swinehart for VMI, the only touchdown for the Keydets. 2 catches, 40 yards, touchdown.
That's a great name. That is a football name if I've ever heard it.
6 carries, 16 yards for him as well. And bunch of guys catching touchdowns, 3 of them for Wake Forest. Defensively, I'm going to go with Wake's defensive lineman, Kendron Wayman. 3 tackles, 2 of them solos, 1.5 sacks, 1.5 tackles for loss. Yeah, we'll have to see how Griffiths does though against a little bit tougher opponent.
Yeah.
Wake did cover by 1, minus 33. Got it in there. Under 66.5. Here we go. Penn State 35-31 over Purdue. This one was in West Lafayette. And yeah, I mean, Sean Clifford. So at halftime, right? I was like, bro, this is it. It's happening again. There goes our season. Sean Clifford was out for a series after he got twisted up on the last drive of the first half, which, of course, he stayed in, and all he did on that drive was throw a 67-yard touchdown to Brenton Strange, who is probably the most unknown tight end in the country, I think, who is very good. Penn State is like tight end U. That's all they do is produce tight ends. Jesse James, Pat Fryermuth, Gesicki. But yeah, Clifford out for that first series of the second half. Purdue had scored on their first series. Clifford comes back in. Penn State doesn't do anything, right? They were up. What was it? 28-17 at halftime. Purdue makes it 28-24 on that first drive. Sean Clifford doesn't do anything the entire second half, except he threw a pick. Is a pick six, 72-yard pick six. Gave Purdue 31-28 lead. The rest of the game, and that was like late. That was like late-ish, like mid-fourth quarter. It gets down to like 4 minutes. I'm like, this is it. I had no hope. I was like, there's no chance. No chance. It's Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell's a very good veteran quarterback. No chance we even get the ball back at this point. Jeff Brom made some questionable calls on offense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Throwing for a majority of the plays on their second to last drive. gave Penn State the ball back with, I don't even know, it's like 2:20, I think. And yeah, what a drive that Sean Clifford put together. 6 of 7. I don't know how many yards he had.
Yeah.
6 of 7, 72 yards, and the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know what that 2-minute defense zone coverage was, but it was not it. I mean, they had everything they wanted up until the game-winning touchdown. Dudes were just wide open.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, I'm all for like aggressive coaching, like especially when you're the underdog and you're like going into enemy territory. But like the roles flipped to where Purdue was in the driver's seat. Like you really only have to like beat the line of scrimmage, keep the clock moving, and like you have a really good chance to win this game. And I don't know what those decisions were that were made, but they were made and it happened.
Yeah, and Penn State only had to spend one timeout on defense on that drive because of the incompletions on offense. But big play before halftime as well. Penn State, I already said Brenton Strange 67-yard touchdown. But also before that was the defense getting Penn State's only turnover, Purdue's only turnover of the game, I should say. Stripping the receiver, Joey Porter Jr., recovering the fumble with an inch to spare on the sideline. I didn't even know why they reviewed it live. It didn't look like he got out of bounds. So I was like, even with my Penn State bias, I was still like, objectively, it doesn't look like he went out of bounds. So they reviewed it. It was pretty quick. But yeah, King Doru, when I looked at the final stats, I thought he had more yards than that because he was pounding Penn State's defense for a good portion of the game. But 15 carries, 57 yards, did score 2 touchdowns, 2 catches for 10 yards. The freshman, Katron Allen, bro, I'm excited, and Penn State fans should be too. We have these 2 freshman running backs, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen. I mean, Singleton I'm more excited about. He didn't show up on here, but these 2 kids are good, man, and I'm very excited about them.
Yeah, Penn State's one of those schools where the pipeline for RB is pretty strong.
Yeah, and we haven't had it in a couple years. That's the issue with Penn State's offense. They haven't had the run game. So I'm hoping they can get it figured out this year. They did have, I think they had over 100 yards rushing as a team, using the 3-back system with Kevon Lee. Kevon Lee catching the game-winning touchdown. Beautiful throw from Sean Clifford on a what's it called? A blitz. No, I'm thinking defense. Blitz peel. I don't know.
Wheel route.
I know it's a wheel route, but I don't know what it's called when you bypass your blocking assignment to go out on a route. Because, I don't know if he was supposed to block or if it was supposed to be a delay or if it was just a straight route.
Right.
Because they had that blitz coming and it was perfect play call. I don't remember who the offensive coordinator is for Penn State because it seems like they change it every year. But yeah, great catch for him. Wearing no gloves. Kevon Lee is a running back. He doesn't wear gloves.
Yeah, I saw that, dude. I was like, that's such a cool look. He's got the Nick Chubb.
Yeah. Bright spot for Purdue going forward, though. Charlie Jones, Iowa transfer, had a monster night. Aiden O'Connell's favorite target by far. And crazy, he surpassed his career receptions in a game mark in like the first quarter. He had only caught 3. 3 was his max in a game. in his career at Iowa because he was mostly a returner. But yeah, 12 catches, 153 yards, touchdown. Mitchell Tinsley, another great transfer in this game, coming over from Western Kentucky. 7 catches, 84 yards, touchdown. I already talked about Brenton Strange. He also had another catch, total 77 yards and a touchdown. Lambert Smith scored. I was happy he scored because Keandre was pissing me off. He had 3 drops in this game. 2 were straight on him. 1 was questionable. It was a good defensive play, probably, but it hit his hands. Yeah, he's lucky he redeems himself with a touchdown because killing me early. Joey Porter Jr., I mean, the man's a first-round pick, easily.
Yes. Yeah.
After one game, just
he's firmly in that, dude. Like, I remember I showed you the tweet that I had where I was like, look, he's in a lot of first-round way too early mock drafts right now, and he showed you exactly why. Like, Aiden O'Connell tested him 3 times in that fourth quarter. All 3 times, Joey Porter was just glued on the guy. I'm talking about, like, ran the route for the dude. And then you also see there, like, 8 solo tackles in space. I mean, those are the types of things that NFL teams are like, hell yes. Like, I need that dude, and I'm going to spend a premium pick to get that dude. So if you can keep doing that, like, consistently, like, you're not just talking about, like, a first rounder, you're talking about, like, a top 15 pick.
Yeah, and I really saw it whenever I think it was 3rd down, right before Purdue had to punt it away. And it was like a slant route, and the recovery speed. And then I know they were talking about it on the broadcast. Joel Klatt was the length to recover and then get your hands still in front of the ball. I mean, I'm interested to see in the spring when he goes to the combine to see what his wingspan is, because I'm sure massive.
He's got great size, and, like, from what he put on tape last night, the technique is all there too. So
yeah,
could be very special.
Chris Jefferson, 7 tackles, 5 of them solo, pass deflection, and the 72-yard pick 6. But yeah, Porter is my defensive player of the game just because I'm Penn State biased and they won. Normally I'm touchdown biased, but Porter's my guy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this was the exact situation that Penn State wants to be in every single game. Leading in the fourth quarter, they have one of the best secondaries in the country with Porter, Jair Brown, Keaton Ellis, and I don't remember some of their other younger corners, but their other guys. There was number 3. What was his name? I can't remember. Number 3 and number 25. I remember their numbers. I can't remember their names right now. But 3 and 25 was the other 2 guys that were showing up a lot last night. And then they got the pass rush going. I was like, bro, we don't have any. Penn State really doesn't have any elite pass rushers this year like they had in the last couple. And yet they got 2 sacks on the final drive of Purdue. So I was happy to see that because it's the coverage. But Penn State covered. I hit that -3.5. I was all over that. Another one that's right there. By the hook. Gotta love it. Over 53.5. Mizzou rolling Louisiana Tech 52-24. Grady Cook was cooking. 201, 1 touchdown. He threw a pick, but he also had 7 carries, 61 yards and a touchdown. Matthew Downing did not have a great night for Louisiana Tech. The Bulldogs, 3 picks, 194 yards and a touchdown. Parker McNeil, I wonder if they're gonna have a quarterback change, Louisiana Tech, because he looked pretty good. 7 of 11, 142, and 2 touchdowns in the second half. And Nathaniel Pete coming over from Stanford had a great game. 8 carries, 72 yards, touchdown, 2 catches, 18 yards. And then couple big receiving nights for Louisiana Tech, actually. Cyrus Allen, 5 catches, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tight end Garrett Hebert, 3 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. And then Luther Burden. I know Mizzou fans were like raving about Luther Burden last night. I mean, the stats, he scored twice, okay? But 3 catches for 17 yards and 3 carries for 26 yards.
Right.
It's not the greatest. I mean,
right. He's gonna be good. Like, he'll be good, but just, pump the brakes.
And then defensively, I'm gonna go back to my touchdown bias. Defensive back Joseph Charleston, 4 tackles, all of them solos, and a 29-yard pick six.
Yeah.
Mizzou covered minus 20.5, over 62.5 hits. All right, this was a game I lost my parlay on. I had the over 53.5. Minnesota they didn't have any explosive plays, and New Mexico State didn't help me out.
Yeah.
But Tanner Morgan efficient, 68.4%, 174, 22 yards on 5 carries, 2 touchdowns on the ground. And yeah, I mean, I really don't know what to tell Jerry Kill, because both games now for New Mexico State, their quarterbacks have looked absolutely atrocious. Pavia throwing 3 picks last game against Nevada in a game that they were in most of the way.
Yeah.
And here, I think Pavia started, or maybe Frakes started. I don't know which one started. But, Pavia at least had 40% completion. Frakes 28.6, and then a pick. So yeah, I don't know what to tell Jerry Kill there at New Mexico State.
Yeah. Well, and it's not going to get any better for them. They play Wisconsin September 17th. So the bank account must have been a little dry this past off season. They needed to get some out of conference money.
Yeah. Well, they should just get into a conference, and then they can actually get money.
Yep.
But Mo Ibrahim, very excited that he's back. Went down early last year against Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
21 carries, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 catch for 8 yards. That's exactly the type of performance I was looking for from him in his return. Trey Potts, though, he was also very good. 17 carries, 89 yards, touchdown, 1 catch for 14 yards. And defensively, I'm going to go with defensive lineman Denny Strigo. 3 tackles, 2 solos, a sack, tackle for loss.
Yeah, it's great to see Mo Ibrahim back. He was one of my guys last year that I was looking at coming out. Obviously went down. Outstanding running back. Just an absolute tank. Physical runner. It's really got all you want to look for there. So hopefully he can stay healthy here. And if he does stay healthy, I mean, he's going to get drafted. Don't know when, but he will be in the NFL.
Yeah, and he's one of the main reasons why I picked Minnesota to win the West.
Ooh.
Hey, you're not even wearing your Wisconsin stuff. We're going to talk about
I know.
later.
That'll be tomorrow.
Minnesota covered minus 36. close one for them. Under 52.5. I already know that. All right. NCAA news. It's massive. The College Football Playoff Board of Managers, they have voted to expand the College Football Playoff to 12 teams from 4. It's going to take effect after the current contract ends in 2025. So 2026 College Football Playoff will be the first time we see 12 teams. Could be earlier, but from what I heard, that it's very complicated to be able to do that. So 2026 most definitely that we will see it. And I know Mark wasn't happy about it, but personally, if they do my system, I think it'll work. I think it'll be fine. Every conference champion gets in. You get your top 2 your next 2 highest ranked.
Yeah, I think the timing of this is really interesting. 2026, by then, we should have kind of these new super conferences crystallized.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the expanded playoff will kind of mirror that a little bit better. And my opinion always is that, hey, more football is a good thing. I'm never going to complain about more football. That 1 seed versus 12 seed games probably going to be a dog, but some of those middle seeded games are going to be fun as hell, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm waiting to hear. I mean, I don't even know if they're going to release the format at this point, but
right.
That's really what I'm waiting to hear, how it's going to be structured. If there are going to be any automatic bids or not. Because I don't know. I feel like picking 12 teams, like that's very difficult to rank the top 12 teams. I don't know. Maybe it's harder to do only the 4, but anyways, yeah. So we will get that in a bunch of years. NFL news, a litany of trades here. It was cut down day, Black Tuesday, I called it. And before that, we got a bunch of trades for teams trying to get something out of guys that they were going to cut anyways. The first one here, all 3 of my NFL teams, though, they were active, so I was very happy. The Panthers, they traded offensive lineman Dennis Daly and a 2024 7th for a 2024 5th. So Panthers, definitely one of the teams needing to get some draft capital. 2023 specifically, they need draft capital because they traded a bunch away with the Baker Mayfield and the Sam Darnold trades. But I thought it was good value. Anytime you can get more than a 6th for a player at the cut down day deadline, I think it's a win.
Yeah. They essentially gave up someone who they were going to cut anyways in an effort to move up 2 rounds.
Yeah. Next one also with the Panthers. They got wide receiver Laviska Shenault Jr. from the Jags for a 23-7 and a 24-6. I think he's probably going to be the 4-ish. Because I think Shi Smith has had a great camp, and I think they want to give him the first shot at being the 3 behind DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. Yeah.
You know what? This is one of those moves that I think hopefully it's really just about a change of scenery. At this point, I mean, it's still very early in Shenault's, career. I loved him coming out of Colorado, but there are questions about him being fast enough to play wide receiver. I'd love if they used him kind of in a Cordarrelle Patterson role, where maybe he takes some snaps out of the backfield. It would certainly help the tread on CMC's tires. And I think it could be a fun wrinkle in their offense if they kind of did a hybrid role with him. But we'll see. We'll see what their plans are for him.
Yeah, we'll have to see what offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo wants to do with him. I think, well, it's not really in their offense to do it, but him on some of the under center jet sweeps would be pretty good, sort of like how the Rams do it and the Steelers. The Colts getting help at linebacker, trading a 23-6th for linebacker Grant Stewart and a 23-7th from the Bucks. So Mr. Irrelevant, I believe, right?
Yep.
2020.
Yep.
Or 21. I don't remember which one it was. But yeah, change of scenery. They need some linebacker depth, some special team. He's going to be a great special teams player.
Yep.
I was very excited, man. The Eagles, we're going to the bowl. The Eagles getting safety Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and a 2025 7th for 2023 5th, and the worst of their two 2024 6th round picks from the Saints. It was weird because when this trade went down, everyone kept calling him Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. But I thought, like last year or 2 years ago, he changed it to CJ. But now, is he back to Chauncey? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But the football aspect, though, the Eagles released Anthony Harris because they knew they were getting this trade. Last year of his deal right now, Saints weren't going to pay him. I just love it, man. The only thing is he wasn't asked to play safety a lot. He was their nickel. But he's going to be asked to play free safety for the Eagles. So we'll see. But Jonathan Gannon, that's his specialty. That's his specialty is DBs. Yeah,
man. That defense is going to be much better than it was last year. And I think, honestly, like, apart from getting a really good player, like, the good news for Eagles fans is that I think the entire offseason for the Eagles has told you exactly how they feel about Jalen Hurts and about how they feel he can be the guy. They have absolutely maximized having a young QB on a cheap contract to the fullest extent possible. And you don't do that unless you're sure that the guy who is on that cheap contract can play through that cheap contract in a window in which you can be competitive with him. So I love these moves. And I think that this is one of those moves that in addition to everything else they've done, I think they are the favorite pretty easily now in the East. The Cowboys, obviously, I think are still going to be good, but the Eagles roster has gotten much better this offseason. The Cowboys have taken a step back. I mean, they gave away Amari Cooper for a 5th round pick. They didn't really get anybody to replace him.
James Washington injured now. Tyron Smith injured now.
Yep. And Michael Gallup might not play week 1. So it's going to be CeeDee Lamb and Jalen Tolbert, 3rd round rookie. I don't know. I don't know. It will be interesting.
Maybe your boy Jake Ferguson will have to kick out the wide receiver.
Steal the draft, man. I'm telling you. Just do 2 tight end sets.
The Steelers, they traded a 2023 6th to the Broncos for linebacker Malik Reed and a 23 7th. Love this. So Malik Reed was playing. He's an outside linebacker. I know the Steelers are going to use him as their 3rd outside linebacker. I don't know. In my mind, for some reason, I thought he played off ball for the Broncos at inside.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't in the reports. They didn't say outside linebacker or edge. So I'm not sure where he lined up for them, but
Yeah, but regardless, like I said, the Steelers are going to use him as their third guy off the edge behind TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, which they've needed. They've been trying to find that. The Melvin Ingram thing didn't work out last year. They've drafted guys later rounds that haven't worked out. So hopefully this trade with Malik Reed will work out for them. The Cardinals. When do the Cardinals not need secondary help? It's like every year. Cardinals corner. That's their number one need. But yeah, they boosted their corner room, getting Trayvon Mullen from the Raiders in exchange for a 2023 conditional 7. And what a fall Trayvon Mullen has had.
Yeah.
From a former, was he first? He was second, right? Second round.
I think he would. So that year they took, it would have been second round because they took Furl, Jacobs, and Abram.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Abrams.
Yeah, so Mullen gonna have to prove himself there in Arizona, but I'll have ample opportunity to do that.
Man, those Mayock and Gruden drafts, man. Jeez.
They're all off the team now.
Yeah, it honestly doesn't get worse than that, I don't think. I don't know how you can do a worse job.
The next one, back to Pittsburgh here, getting some more offensive line help. Offensive lineman Jesse Davis coming over from the Vikings. They get a 2025 conditional 7th. And yeah, I mean, Jesse Davis, so he didn't even last that long in Minnesota, signed from Miami this offseason. But a guy I thought was very good in Miami, playing guard. I don't know if he has versatility to play all three, but I know he's definitely good at guard. And yeah, hopefully they can. I don't know if it's a depth thing or if they don't trust their guards, but
yeah, I mean, Steelers could use some OL help. So,
and then the trade. So the Eagles got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, right? They traded someone away too. This is a trade that I went back to my statements that Howie Roseman is the best GM in the NFL, hands down, because of what he got for Jalen Reagor. Trading Jalen Reagor to the Vikings for a 2023 7. So, that's whatever. But he got a 2024 4th, conditional 4th. That is at worst a 5th if Reagor doesn't hit certain statistical marks. But we saw the Carson Wentz conditional pick worked out. And by the reports that I'm hearing, the Vikings are using Jalen Reagor as a wide receiver and a kick returner. So I think it's more likely than not that the Eagles are going to get a 4th for this.
Yeah. Now, I feel like Howie Roseman deserves some criticism for taking Reagor in the first place. But I do agree. I think it's a great mitigation of your losses. But the thing that I find most funny about this exchange is that the Vikings were the team laughing at Roseman and the Eagles for taking Reagor before Justin Jefferson. And now Rager's on the team that was laughing at him when he went higher in the draft. But yeah, this is another case just like Laviska Shenault. Like, I don't know, maybe he has another, change of scenery. But I mean, we just haven't seen it from him. I thought Jalen Reagor coming out of college was a super interesting prospect because his jump ball ability in college was like really good. Like they used him in a lot of red zone, like jump ball situations at TCU. And I think the issue with him in the NFL now has been like, he obviously can't do that against like NFL corners. Because he is a smaller guy, just naturally. So I think he's kind of had to rework his game a little bit, hasn't adjusted well to the NFL. We'll see if like maybe just lower expectations, limited role can help him in Minnesota, because that wide receiver 3 position behind Thielen is wide open, and Thielen's only getting older. So yeah, I mean, I think this is a mutually beneficial exchange. I think the Eagles win it because, again, 4th round pick's pretty high for a guy who just like really hasn't done much.
Yeah, and speaking of the wide receiver 3 in Minnesota, BC Johnson went down for them. They do still have KJ Osborne, who's pretty good. So more than likely, Rager is going to be at 4, which he's slated to be right now. And then they also have Jalen Naylor. But yeah, I was excited about the trade. Excited to get him off the team. He did have a good preseason. I will say that the Eagles were going to keep him if they couldn't get anything for him. They were going to keep him as their 6th receiver because he did have a decent camp. But yeah, he's also switching numbers. I don't know if you saw that tweet. He's going to be number 5 now. And he had a whole big tweet about what the number 5 means. But whatever.
Yeah. Well, he certainly wasn't getting 18, so.
All righty. Back to other NFL news. Saints. I was wondering why the Saints kept adding safeties in the offseason, and I see why now.
Yeah.
This isn't really why they did it, but yeah, Saints safety Marcus May arrested this past week for aggravated assault with a firearm.
Wow.
So, pretty big charge.
Yeah. Fairly. As charges go, it's one of them.
Haven't heard any update yet on him. Obviously, it's only been like a couple days. But yeah, we'll have to follow that, see if that leads to a suspension. And the issue with it being right now is he could be suspended at a time when it's very inopportune for New Orleans.
Yeah.
Now, again, like I said, they added a bunch of safeties in free agency. Tyrann Mathieu. I don't remember who else. Marcus May. But now CJ Gardner-Johnson's gone. Marcus May be gone for a couple games.
At least.
It's all of a sudden a thin position for New Orleans.
Yeah. Well, and secondary really wasn't there, downside, and now it is. I love this, man, because like sometimes like when we do the script here, when you put it through, you send it to me, I like won't look at the NFL news on purpose because I just I'm getting this in real time. I had no clue that Marcus May aggravatedly assaulted someone with a firearm. Yeah, I mean, needless to say, that could be a big loss for New Orleans.
So cut down day, I said generally cut down day notes on the script. What were your thoughts on cut down day? Because I have like lists here of notable guys on every single team that I thought were notable cuts.
Yeah. So one of the big guys for me as a Packers fan and as an NFL draft fan that I was shocked got cut was Tyler Johnson for the Buccaneers. And it's literally just a product of him, being on a bloated wide receiver room. he was at best going to be the wide receiver 5, and I think they kept Scotty Miller ahead of him, probably for special teams purposes. So yeah, but I mean, a guy who I think is super talented. I thought he was a steal when they took him 2 years ago. Texans picked him up. I think that's a great move for them. Would have loved to have him fall to the Packers. But yeah, I'm trying to think of who else I thought was a surprise, but that was the big one where I was like, wow.
The Texans signed him to the active roster.
Mm-hmm.
They get him on waivers. I have like the waivers from that first day on Wednesday. Bunch of good waiver claims, which I'll talk about. But as far as the Bills, Raheem Blackshear, he had a great camp. The running back, rookie undrafted out of Virginia Tech. Great camp as a returner and a running back. So I was surprised he got cut, but they got a loaded backfield right now. Because Duke Johnson got cut as well. And then OJ Howard, I thought was surprising. One of the bigger free agent names getting cut.
Texans got him too.
Signing with the Texans, yeah. I'm excited about that one for Davis Mills.
Mm-hmm.
The Dolphins, Sony Michel's the big name right there. Has subsequently signed with the Chargers as their backup to Austin Eckler. Possible upgrade there for them. The Patriots, I was surprised with the Patriots cuts. A bunch of them actually. Because they cut Kevin Harris. They kept Pierre Strong. Cut Kevin Harris. So, the higher draft pick doesn't always win out. So,
yeah.
Another one, the tight ends. The tight ends cut for the Patriots. They cut both their third-round picks that they drafted a couple years ago.
Yeah.
CSC and Dalton Keene, both gone from New England.
Yeah. I think the Patriots, another team that it's like definitely their drafts in the last couple of years have deserved some criticism.
Yeah, and last one with New England, I was surprised Justin Bethel got cut. There's one of their best special teams player, obviously Matthew Slater, but Bethel getting cut there. He has signed with the Dolphins now. Like the Dolphins always do. They just take whatever free agents the Patriots get cut. I don't think there was too many people with the Jets that were surprising. Probably Chuma Edoga, third-round pick in 2019 or 2020. That was probably a surprise a little bit. The Ravens, I don't think there was much with them. Tony Jefferson, safety getting cut there, veteran. But again, the Ravens are one of the best secondaries in the league, so they didn't have a spot for him with the selection of Kyle Hamilton this year. Let's see, was there anyone with Bengals? Yeah. I was pissed at the Bengals, bro. That they cut two of my favorite receivers. One because of his college play, Javon Hiley, they cut him. But a guy that was having a fantastic camp for them that they cut a receiver, Kwame Lassiter, rookie undrafted out of Kansas. I mean, he was having a great camp. And it's just the numbers game, the Bengals receivers, we already know the top three. And then, they have a couple other guys there that Kwame couldn't beat out.
Yeah, it's tough. Situation is means so much in the NFL.
Yeah. Browns really didn't have anyone of note on my list there. The Steelers, I had a laundry list for them. Probably the two I'm going back to the receiver I think. because they cut 2 receivers that had great camps. Undrafted rookie out of East Carolina, Tyler Snead, and undrafted rookie out of USC, Tyler Vaughns. Both of the Tylers, especially Vaughns. I thought Vaughns was very good in the preseason. Caught the game winner in game 2 against the Seahawks from Kenny Pickett. So yeah, I don't know those two, but it's again, we're going back to the Steelers have a great receiver room. So with the Texans, they cut Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack gone. That's indicative of Damian Pierce, right?
Yep.
Kept Sexy Rexy, though. I was surprised Andy Janovich got cut for Houston, too. Their fullback. The Colts, another running back, Philip Lindsay, gone. And I don't know why. I wasn't sure why Philip Lindsay got cut because I don't know who they have as their third guy.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're doing what the Packers did, just rostering 2.
Yeah. In terms of the Jags, there wasn't anyone. Rudy Ford. Talk about Rudy Ford.
Yep.
Safety for the Jags, but also one of the best. I'm going to say one of the best special teams players in the league, Rudy Ford.
We need him. So
I think he is anyway. He was an Eagle. The Titans, probably the most notable one with Tennessee. Actually 2. Wide receiver Des Fitzpatrick getting cut, 4th round pick in 2020, gone after just 1 season. Also, punter Brett Kern lost. That's so debilitating. It has to be losing your longtime job to an undrafted rookie.
Yep. It's tough, man. It's tough out here for the specialists.
Especially a guy I had never heard of. Stonehouse. I think his first name is Ryan. I think. Yeah. But we'll see when he screws up week 1 and they'll be calling Brett. Brett, we need you.
Sorry.
The Broncos quarterback Josh Johnson looking for his 15th NFL team.
Yeah. Talk about hard.
He did sign to the practice squad, I think.
Did he really? Wow.
I believe so. Good
for him.
Otherwise, with the Broncos, your boy Darius Shepard got cut.
Hey, look. He's like a bad cold. He'll stick around.
Joe Schobert got cut a couple weeks after signing. And also another punter there, Sam Martin. Long-time punter for the Broncos as well. Not long time, but good punter for them. The Chiefs, Josh Gordon. He's now on the Titans practice squad. Yeah. Trying to stay.
So, corresponding to that news, I saw a tweet that said, like, Josh Gordon led the league in receiving in 2014. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, is that really relevant anymore? Like,
no,
he hasn't done anything since that.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? 2 years off?
Yeah.
2 years suspended. And then
that'll be the biggest what if, man.
Yeah.
Not the biggest, but one of the biggest. He was special.
Also for Kansas City, Austin Reiter got cut. I believe they have signed him back since. I'm not exactly sure, but Danny Shelton was another one with them. Veteran D tackle, Jermaine Carter, linebacker, and Lonnie Johnson, who they traded for in the offseason.
Yeah.
He's gone. And that one was weird for me because the Chiefs, we were talking about how a lot of these other guys got cut because of their positions on that team are good position groups.
Mhm.
The Chiefs secondary is not a good position group.
Yeah. It's Justin Reed, right? And like everybody else.
Yeah, because Travarius Ward is in San Francisco now.
Yeah. Yep.
The Raiders. There we go. Back to the Mayock draft. Alex Leatherwood.
And that one
he
I
is-
just don't get. Like,
Yeah.
it's just too early, man. Like, it's too early. I don't know. Good on the Bears. They need.
Yeah, the Bears claimed him off
Yeah.
waiver. I don't know how much that's going to help Justin Fields, but
Yeah.
Good luck.
R.I.P.
Another guy, Kenny Young. They signed him in free agency. He's gone. The Chargers didn't have too many. One guy I'll say is Carlo Kemp, great player in the USFL this past spring for the Houston Gamblers. He is gone. Actually, was Carlo Kemp the defensive player of the year? I can't remember. I think he wasn't. That was the guy that signed with the Browns. Anyways, Carlo Kemp didn't play for the Gamblers. That was the guy that plays for that guy with the Browns. Carlo Kemp was with the Pittsburgh Maulers. Got it all. It's up here somewhere. The Cowboys most notably cut 3 quarterbacks, left Dak Prescott as the only one on the roster. But I think they signed Will Greer back, or they're going to be the backup because he beat Cooper Rush this offseason. Cooper is going to come back on the practice squad, I think.
Yeah. And if that goes down in the game, they're just going to borrow the Army playbook.
Yeah, I didn't have anyone else for the Cowboys because they cut their long snapper too, but they'll bring him back. Brett Maher got cut as well. I don't know if that means the other dude, Liram. I think they cut Liram too. Liram Hajrulahu. It's a great name. The Giants, Davis Webb gone. I was disappointed. Davis Webb had a great preseason for them. Kept them in a lot of games. Also, Alex Bachman. Okay, Bachman was a monster this preseason, and the Giants have a lot of crap at wide receiver that I think Bachman could have helped as the 5 or 6.
Yeah. There's got to be some kind of like beautiful mind thing going on, like with the Giants, like wide receiver room, because I can't figure it out. I'm not sure anybody else can figure it out. Right. So like you sign Kenny Galladay as like your wide receiver 1, but you can only do jump balls. So then you draft Kadarius Toney, who's kind of your like shifty underneath, get open, scat back guy. But then you also spend a premium pick on Wan'Dale Robinson, who's essentially the same player, just not as talented, in my opinion, as Toney is. Yeah, I don't know.
And they drafted Darius Slayton in the 5th round a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Sterling Shepard is the veteran. He's been there through all of it. And yeah.
Just holding on by a thread.
I was also disappointed the Giants cut Bailey Gaither, one of my favorite receivers from the USFL, also playing with the Maulers in Pittsburgh. Yusuf Corker got cut for them. The Eagles, okay, Carson Strong. We talked about this a little bit off air. he never got a chance.
Yeah.
I mean, they consistently put Reed Sinnett ahead of Carson Strong, and in 2 of the games, they were already winning. So they didn't play him until late, and all he did was hand the ball off and like throw 1 pass.
Yeah.
And
It's a weird thing. I told you, like, that's something that, like, I wish, like, I was a fly on the wall. And, like, and my assumption is there's got to be something medically. Like, there's something with that knee that's the reason he went undrafted. And the reason he really didn't get a lot of run is because of that knee. It's got to be. That's the only justification I can think of, because I loved Carson Strong in the pre-draft process. He's got a good arm. I thought he displayed pretty good decision making in spurts. I thought he was at least the 3rd round talent in a league where you need guys. He didn't get talked a lot about, with some of the other guys like Ritter and Willis and all those guys. But I honestly thought, in terms of pure arm talent, he belonged in that conversation. So for him to just like not get the chance, like that to me signals that there's something medical.
Yeah. I could probably go all day about all the guys that I wrote down for the Eagles, but I'm not going to try to spend too much time. The running backs, Kennedy Brooks and Jason Huntley. Thought Brooks was decent. Jason Huntley ended his preseason with a nice 67-yard touchdown run against the Dolphins. But the Eagles are trying out some different people this year at the kick return spot. So Huntley not needed anymore. Devin Allen, the track star, did not make it either. Deion Kane, I thought Deion Kane had a good camp. Consistently made a bunch of highlight catches on the sideline for Reed Sinnett, mostly a couple from Gardner Minshew, I think. But yeah, him and Britton Covey. I was very disappointed that he didn't make it on the initial 53. He was a guy I kept hearing about from Eagles camp. It was like, bro, Britton Covey's lighting it up, and he can punt return. So yeah, I don't know why he didn't make it. Richard Rodgers, they brought him back, I think.
Packers great, Richard Rodgers.
Yeah, he's been a great tight end 3 for us. I was disappointed Mario Goodrich didn't make it. Undrafted out of Clemson. I was very excited about him. His undrafted mate, though, I'm really hyped about. Josh Jobe made the roster, rookie undrafted out of Alabama. Very happy that he made it. And then the safeties, I already said Anthony Harris. Jaquiski Tart, a guy I was excited about when the Eagles signed him, but we got our safety now in Gardner Johnson, so it's fine. The Commanders, yeah, that was a tough timing with the Brian Robinson shooting, because it was literally like right around cut day. So they did cut 3 running backs. One of them was a fullback in Alex Arma. But Jarrett Patterson, I was kind of surprised. I think he's going to be needed in early on, especially while Robinson works back. Kendall Blanton, I mean, how far do you fall for Kendall Blanton? First, you get cut by the Rams in the first round of cuts from 90 to 85, right? He signs with Washington. He gets cut again. And this was the man that started Super Bowl 56 at tight end.
It's a tough couple weeks.
Let's see. No one else with the Commanders there, I don't think. Chicago. Not much. Oh, DeMarcus Gates. Can't believe he didn't make it. great player, linebacker for the Gamblers this past spring in the USFL. He is back on their practice squad, I think. The Lions. I'm ready to watch the final Hard Knocks coming up on Tuesday to see how the cuts went down. But Justin Jackson didn't make it. They signed him when the Chargers cut him. Tom Kennedy, I was disappointed. Kennedy was a guy on the roster last year, but they had some upgrades at the wide receiver position with Jamison Williams and DJ Chark this offseason, so not as many spots as last year available. Khalil Pimpleton, I talked about him with the Central Michigan game there. Didn't make it. Star of Hard Knocks, though. You can always have that on your resume. And then Jared Davis. How does it feel to be Jared Davis getting cut twice by the team that drafted you in the first round?
Yep.
I don't know.
And I'm glad I don't know. Yeah.
All right, your Packers. Here we go. Danny Etling. Oh, he got cut, man. I thought he was going to supplant Jordan Love.
Real truth. He's going to be our Taysom Hill twice.
Yeah. A guy, even a person that's not a Packers fan, is very disappointed. Tyler Goodson, man. How did they cut Goodson?
Yeah. Yep. They chose to roster just A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones for now, which is interesting to me. Usually they roster 3. I thought Goodson would have won the job. The good news is that both of their guys who are competing for that RB3 did end up on the practice squad. So they still have them in-house. But yeah, I mean, Goodson I feel like he just showed he had that juice in preseason, man. I felt the way about him as I did Aaron Jones when he was first, those first couple seasons. Every time he was in the game, which wasn't a lot, he seemed to do something. And I kept thinking to myself, like, why are we not giving this guy more run? It was actually one of the things that got McCarthy fired, because once LaFleur came in, they gave Aaron Jones a lot more run, and you see what happened. So, yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand the cut, but the good news is they at least were able to get him to the practice squad. So,
yeah, I loved Tyler Goodson at Iowa. They cut a Badger. How do they cut a Badger? They cut Danny Davis.
Yep. After a good preseason.
Sal Cannella, New Orleans Breaker, tight ends, cut. I thought the Packers needed some tight end depth behind Tunyon.
They do, but they got like 8. Well, they had like Tunyon 8 guys, like in the 90 whatever.
Yeah.
No, I think they hung on to Tyler Davis as the tight end 4.
Gotcha.
The rumblings for Davis was huge in camp. He had an awful preseason, like just historically bad. So I don't know, maybe he puts it together, but
another one I was disappointed after watching some of the Packers preseason games. Defensive tackle Jack Heflin.
Yep.
A very good preseason for that man.
Yep. You, me, and basically everyone else in Packers Nation didn't like that one, especially knowing that we had Tyler Lancaster on the roster for like 3 years. I felt Heflin was better than Lancaster ever was. But all of these moves signals to you that Brian Gutekunst, he loves his picks, man. He hangs on to those guys. All the late round guys made the roster. So again, it's a risk. Fortunate for us, it paid off because Heflin did make the practice squad as well.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
They also cut my Penn State boy Ellis Brooks. I didn't really notice him too much in the preseason games, but just had to mention they cut my Penn State boy.
Yeah, I like Ellis Brooks, but it's another one of those things about like opportunity and like where you sign. Like Devondre Campbell, we just spent a premium pick on Quay Walker, and then Chris Barnes is a great backup. If Chris Barnes is your linebacker 3, you're doing all right. He's pretty solid. And then Isaiah McDuffie, the fourth guy, had a really good preseason, so that room's pretty set there.
I was surprised Mason Crosby survived. Ramiz Ahmed, Gabe Burkick, both cut at kicker.
Yeah. Well, Crosby's been hurt like all preseason, and there was actually talk among the beat writers that there was a real possibility they were going to roster 2 kickers to start because they weren't sure if Crosby was going to be healthy, but I guess he's full go. They're going to have to move on at some point. They probably should have already, but I don't know.
Unless you're getting Evan McPherson, it's tough.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. There are not 32 good kickers out there. It's kind of like quarterbacks.
The Vikings, big story, quarterbacks. So Sean Mannion gone, the backup for the last couple of years. They traded for Nick Mullins, a sign of what they thought of Mannion. And they also cut 2019 second round pick Kellen Mond. That one I was shocked about.
Yeah. I mean, Mond has looked rough.
Better this year than he did last year.
Yeah. But I mean, you talk about mechanics and just like dude's a robot. I agree though. I was shocked by it. And we mentioned this after the draft, or at least I remember mentioning it after the draft, that I felt the Vikings were one of those teams that like I was shocked they didn't take a swing at one of these guys that were falling. I know you've made your comments on Malik Willis known, but like they had the like second and third round capital after the trades they made to like swing on a guy like him or Desmond Ridder or even Matt Corral. And they didn't. And I think it's more shocking to me because Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is he's supposed to be an analytical guy, you know what I mean? So you feel like the analytics would be okay, like, okay, well, there's value in like trying to get a quarterback because it's a crapshoot kind of in the third round anyways. And if you hit, I mean, it's franchise changing.
Right.
So again, interesting. I don't like that QB room. Obviously they feel Kirk is the guy. I just haven't seen it. I said it at the time. I was like, look, Kirk Cousins doesn't scare me. Malik Willis could potentially scare me just because there's a lot of physical talent there. But yeah, I don't know.
Hey, Kirk Cousins is one of the best good quarterbacks you can get in the NFL.
I mean, he's not
great. He's not elite. He's good.
Right. He's solid.
And he's made a lot of money for being
doing it. Yep.
I don't think I was mad about Thomas Hennigan, App State guy. I was mad about him. Chad Surratt also got cut.
That was a surprise to me.
And then Jordan Berry, new punter there in Minnesota.
Yeah, Surratt was a surprise to me because like this is only like what is like second or third year playing linebacker. He was a quarterback, right? That switched. So super athletic guy. Like, I don't know, you give him a little bit more time, but
Falcons, Packer, great Geronimo Allison cut. Anthony Ferkser, Arthur Smith cut his own guy. Anthony Ferkser got cut.
No loyalty out here.
Tennessee holdover. My Georgia boy Justin Schaefer, he got cut I wonder if Mike Vrabel called Arthur Smith and yelled at him for cutting Tyler Vrabel. I think that's one where Arthur had to call Mike before it happened, just to make sure.
Yeah.
Like, like Mike, I want you to hear this first.
Yep. Yeah.
Another Penn State guy, Derek Tangelo, got cut by the Falcons. Nick Kwiatkowski got cut. That's a guy that's been in the league a bunch. The Panthers, there weren't too many guys I was actually disappointed to lose with the Panthers. I would probably say Deontay Brown was just a draft pick in 2020, sixth rounder. Kind of surprising. I wasn't hurt too much on that one. And then probably the preseason guy that I was disappointed a little bit about was Tay Hayes. Got cut. He had a great preseason, but the Panthers have a good secondary overall, so especially at corner. So I wasn't really worried about that too much. Saints, Ian Book cut. He is now a Philadelphia Eagle. I'm kind of happy about that. Ian had a good preseason, I thought.
Yeah. Ian, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about him. I mean, there's some stuff there, and like I think what he does out of the pocket's like pretty good, but like, yeah, I don't know.
I was shocked to see Abram Smith didn't make the roster for the Saints. I thought he had a good preseason, rookie running back out of Baylor. My guy, Nicholls State, Dejon Dixon did not make it, wide receiver there with New Orleans. Kevin White got cut again. He's hanging on.
Great.
He's hanging on. Chris Herndon got cut. Trying to think who they had. Well, I guess, Taysom Hill and Adam Trautman. And then I don't really know who it is after that, but whatever. That's fine. Taco Charlton gone from New Orleans. And then a guy I thought was having a good camp, Chase Hansen, linebacker there. And I think that's one of the areas that the Saints need is linebackers on defense. So kind of surprised. Eric Wilson also got cut from New Orleans. So again, another linebacker that I thought was good depth for them. The Bucks, you already said about Tyler Johnson. Bug Howard, Philadelphia Stars, USFL, got cut. They got too many tight ends there in Tampa. Jarrett Stearns, one of my Bailey Zappi's favorite target last year at Western Kentucky, and from their days together at Houston Baptist. You already talked about the wide receiver depth there for Tampa, though. Another wide receiver was Devin Tompkins, undrafted out of Utah State. I like him a lot, but not enough room there. Logan Ryan was cut. They brought him back already, I believe, to the active. And then Jose Borregales did not beat Ryan Suckup in the kicker competition there. Probably because he missed the game winner in week 1 of preseason.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, I was disappointed, man. Trace McSorley should not have been cut. Okay.
No bias.
That man had a great preseason for Arizona. He's going to be on the practice squad. Ronnie Rivers, I loved him coming out of Fresno State. He wasn't able to make the 53. Victor Bolden, I thought had a good camp after winning the USFL championship with the Stallions in the spring, signing with the Cardinals. Wasn't able to make it though. There's only 2 USFL players that made the initial 53. Obviously, Kevontae Turpin with the Cowboys, and I don't know who the other one was because I didn't read the article. But, whoever the other one was, congrats. Another Penn State guy, Jesse Luketa, cut from the Cardinals. I was surprised. Devon Kennard cut by the Cardinals. Very good pass rusher for them. And then Chandler Wooten had a great preseason, undrafted out of Auburn. Really good preseason when I watched some of the Cardinals games. But he is gone as well. Rams, they really didn't have too many guys that I thought hurt to get cut. USFL, Louis Perez cut. Other than that, it wasn't much. I only had 6 guys on my list for them. The Niners there, Sudfeld, I guess, a little bit. Other than Sudfeld, Kamoko Toure, I thought he was going to be a part of their pass rush this year, and he got cut at the initial or at the cut day on Tuesday. Another guy, Jordan Willis. I thought they loved Jordan Willis.
Not enough, apparently.
Yeah, and then Tariq Castro Fields, Penn State guy. He was having a great preseason. I don't know. The Niners are another team that desperately needs corner help, even with the Travarius Ford signing. I didn't understand why Tariq Castro Fields was cut. Darquez Dennard also cut, and then Tashawn Gibson Sr., who they had just signed like a week ago. So that was no surprise, kind of. And then the Seahawks, they traded for JJ Arcega-Whiteside and cut him. That was kind of funny on the Eagles' part, but a couple other notable receivers getting cut there. Bo Melton, rookie 7th rounder out of Rutgers, did not make it. His 7th round compatriot, though, out of a much smaller school, Lenore Rhines, Derek Young, made the initial 53. So good for Derek. He did have a good preseason in the couple Seahawks games I did catch. And then Freddie Swain, I was surprised. I was talking to our resident Seahawks fan at Marquette Law, John Babington, and he was like, yeah, Freddie had a terrible camp, and they just like the younger guys. So I was disappointed linebacker Joel Dublanco missed it. I was a big fan of his when he was at Cincinnati. Did not make it, though. And that was it. That's the last guy I have to talk about. So probably spent way too long on cut day. But as far as waivers went on Wednesday there, there's a bunch of those guys that I just talked about that got claimed. The Falcons got Chuma Edoga from the Jets. Leatherwood, we already said, went to the Bears. I think a good claim for the Bears was Armon Watts, nose tackle coming from the Vikings. They also got Trayvon Wesco, tight end fullback from the Jets. The Bengals. So the Bengals were initially going to sign OJ Howard, right? But then they got Devin CSC in free agency, and they were on waivers, and they were like, "Why would we pay OJ Howard much more money than Devin CSC when we can get a CSC, off waivers?" I liked them getting Max Sharping and J2 Fele. I thought all 3 of the waivers that the Bengals got were very good players.
Yep. Yeah, I like Tufele.
Kellen Mond did land on his feet. He is okay. He landed in Cleveland.
They might need him.
So, yeah, they might. They cut Josh Rosen. They did they're keeping Josh Dobbs as the backup. to Jacoby Brissett currently. So, and well, I guess they are keeping 3 because, you know, for anyone that doesn't know, if you claim a guy off waivers, they go to the 53 automatically. They cannot be claimed to your practice squad. So he is on the 53. So they are keeping 3, I guess. Tyler Johnson, you already said, went to Houston on waivers. The Jags, they got defensive back Tyree Gillespie from the Titans. Running back to Michael Hasty from the Niners. They got kicker Riley Patterson. So does that mean Riley Patterson is the new kicker for the Jags? Questioning.
Yeah, because Lambeau's still out there, isn't he?
I thought he was back this year. I don't know. I was happy. Kendrick Pryor got to the Jags after having a pretty good preseason with the Bengals there. And they got a linebacker from the Packers, Ty Summers, going to the Jags on waivers from Green Bay.
Good luck.
The Giants, they got Justin Lane, the corner from Pittsburgh. The Eagles, their only successful waiver claim was Ian Book. The Niners got Blake Hance, the guard from the Browns, and subsequently cut Trey Sermon because they had to get Blake Hance off waivers. So Trey Sermon is now a Philadelphia Eagle too, just to throw that out there. We're getting everyone, dude. And then the Commanders, they did get Bree Fields off of waivers, so good landing spot for him, I think. As far as injuries, we have 2 big time injuries. Harold Landry, Titans' best pass rusher, gone.
Yep.
Torn ACL, done for the year. Crazy bad blow for the Titans. Just inside a week, almost inside a week till they play. On Sunday will be a week. But, I mean, I don't even know what they do now at this point. You know, they got Bud Dupree. But other than that, I mean, their outside linebackers were already thin behind the top 2, and now it's like, okay, we're really gonna be starting Ola Adeniyi week 1 opposite of Bud Dupree.
Yeah, I think we both had the Titans missing the playoffs in our previews. Yeah, I mean, it could get very bad for the Titans this year.
Yeah. And the other one, Eagles offensive tackle Andre Dillard suffered a non-displaced forearm fracture. So luckily he's not the starter at left tackle, because that's Jordan Mailata. But he was our swing tackle. So hopefully he will be back relatively soon. But yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out there. Guys placed on IR. Obviously, that was a big thing on why many guys were cut right at the cut down day. It was because you had to roll over your guys onto the 53 that you're going to put on IR to return, designated to return later in the season. So we had a bunch of guys getting put on IR after cut down. It's interesting that IR, reserve NFI, and reserve PUP, all 3 are the same game time. It's all 4 games, regardless of what list you go on. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know what the difference is, being put on the different lists. But it's all on the CBA. Go read it. It's fine. But anyways, guys put on IR: Patriots defensive lineman Henry Anderson and rookie second round pick wide receiver Tyquan Thornton. Eagles wide receiver Greg Ward. Cowboys left tackle Tyron Smith and wide receiver James Washington. Browns wide receiver N'Keal Harry. Or Bears wide receiver. Wrong B team. Panthers quarterback Sam Darnold. Falcons linebacker Deion Jones. And Saints offensive tackle Trevor Penning. Saints is one. I don't know what they're doing at left tackle to start the season with Penning out. As far as I know, they still have James Hurst, so I think that's who would get the nod, but not exactly sure.
Yeah, the Saints are a team who I had being really successful this year, but this week's been a rough one for the Saints. So we'll see.
I believe in Jameis. That I do. One guy getting put on reserve NFI. Commanders running back Brian Robinson. So we'll see week 5 what his status is at that point. And he will be he'll be put on my IR for fantasy right now. I have him in a couple of weeks.
We were talking off camera, like what's the treatment time for getting shot?
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's a little bit tougher for him because of being a running back, and he got shot once in the butt and once in the calf.
Jeez.
So a little bit tougher being your legs. I think it just all depends on like exactly where in those areas he got shot and what muscles, tendons the bullets actually penetrated.
Yeah.
Reserve pup, Dolphins corner Byron Jones and Bills corner Tre'Davious White. So it makes me scared to pick the Bills week 1 now because it's not going to be Tre'Davious White on Cooper Kupp. Pup activations. We did have one. It is Colts linebacker Shaquille Leonard. He is back practicing, hopefully ready to go week 1. Extensions. I'm gonna say the little one first, okay? Because
that's probably a good idea.
the one that just happened today. The Cardinals, they signed safety Jalen Thompson to a 3-year, $40 million extension, $24.5 million guaranteed. Good deal on both sides, I think. I know Peter Strager was saying Jason McCourty was saying that Jalen Thompson is very underrated throughout the league. So, yeah. And I forgot to say, with the Bears claiming Alex Leatherwood, they have to pay him 3 years, $5.9 million, full guaranteed.
Wow.
Because they claimed him. Okay, so the big one here. Broncos. They signed quarterback Russell Wilson to a 5-year, $245 million extension, $165 million guaranteed. That came out of the blue on Wednesday, I think it was.
Yeah.
I was just like, what? Didn't even know this was in the works, but it's fine. Yeah. Extension. Him and Sierra just bought a $25 million house ever sold in Denver.
Wow.
There's that. He probably paid for that entirely with his signing bonus.
Right? All in cash.
Yeah. They just brought the Brinks truck to the to the closing.
Keep the Brinks truck.
Yeah, Russ now slots in as the second highest paid QB on average annual value, $49 million per year. A-Rod still leading away, 50.271.
Yes, sir. That guaranteed money is the big thing, man.
Yeah, big time. Giants, they released linebacker Blake Martinez. Weird move. Again, Giants defense overall is not that good. Blake Martinez, their leading tackler the last couple of seasons. So questionable
Yeah.
decision.
I mean,
for-
so former Packer, Blake Martinez isn't that good, but like you said, it's not like they had like a luxury of like just cutting their leading tackler. So yeah, it was weird.
I mean, Blake Martinez is not today's prototypical linebacker where you
Right.
can stop the run and cover, but he just tackles people. That's all he does. He's not good in coverage, but he'll help your run support most definitely. Signings here, the Ravens. They signed former Raiders running back Kenyon Drake. So disappointed in that in terms of fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
J.K. Dobbins on a couple of my teams.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at Dobbins, and then I saw this move. I mean, that entire offense is run. So I mean, in the dynasty aspect, you almost kind of like it because like maybe JK is going to have a little bit longer shelf life, especially coming off a major injury. But yeah, in redraft, it's a tough look.
I have him in both. The Panthers, they found their new kicker for the 22 season with Zane Gonzalez done for the year with his groin injury. They signed Jets kicker Eddie Pinheiro. So I think it was a good move. I saw they were working out kickers last week and they had about 4 or 5 in for a workout. And Pinheiro was good. Just happened that he lost the kicking battle with New York to a guy that's very good in Greg Zuerlein. So I think Pinheiro will be fine. And the Panthers got probably one of the best options out there available right now. Already mentioned the Chargers signed Dolphins running back Sony Michel. Also mentioned Bills signed Broncos punter Sam Martin. That is the replacement for Matt Araiza.
It's a good replacement too.
It's kind of crazy how that whole thing went down because they had cut Matt Hawk.
Yep.
Then the news of the lawsuit came out. They cut Araiza. Hawk had subsequently already signed with the Colts because they lost Rigoberto Sanchez to an Achilles tear. And now the Bills are like sitting there like, crap, man. We have Hunter and Hawk's not available anymore.
Yeah.
So Martin's not a bad option though.
No, that it's good for them. But the thing that gets me is like, so we know that they knew in late July about the Matt Araiza situation. And in that time, they cut his competition and named him the starter.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, you're just hoping it didn't get out until, like, the end of the season? Or, like, I don't know what the plan was there, but...
That was probably the hope.
Yeah.
that it would not leak. But something of that magnitude, I mean, that's never
in today's day and age, you just can't, like, it's bound to get out.
Yeah. I already said the Texans, they got Bills tight end OJ Howard. And then I already said Dolphins signed Patriots special teamer, defensive back Justin Bethel. Notice, before I do that, before I get to college football playoff picks, I just want to mention Peter Schrager's top 10 breakout players, because he has been right on his number one player like the last 3 years. Just crazy accuracy that this man does every year. So number 10, Eagle safety Marcus Epps. I was excited to hear that. Cardinals wide receiver Rondale Moore at 9. At 8, 49ers wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. 7 is Panthers corner Jay Horn. 6, Browns corner Greg Newsome. 5 was Chargers wide receiver Josh Palmer. 4 was Lions defensive lineman Aleem McNeil.
Yeah.
Number 3 was Vikings offensive tackle Christian Darrisaw. I think that's spot on there. 2 was Chiefs linebacker Nick Bolton. And then 1, I think this was the 1 was kind of like everyone has been talking about this guy, but 1 Broncos running back Javonte Williams. And I think Peter Schrager actually said that Javonte is going to lead the league in rushing, which would be just crazy. But
yeah, my only problem with that list is that there's some guys on there who they already have kind of, broke out. Like Javonte Williams hasn't necessarily broke out yet, but in terms of like running back metrics, like we already know he's like good because he averaged like 5 yards a carry. So yeah,
he just needs to take more carries from Melvin Gordon this year. I've been hesitant to draft him in fantasy though, because Melvin's back.
Yeah, and Melvin's good, dude. Like he just does what he does.
Yeah, it's just we just don't know with Nathaniel Hackett how it's going to be. So
right.
Okay, college football playoff time. Here's Mark's bracket. So just a disclaimer here. We all 3 have Bama 1, Ohio State 2, Clemson. Or no, I don't have Clemson 3. Never mind. You and Mark have those 3 as your top 3 in that order. But yeah, Mark, Bama, Ohio State, Clemson. Sorry, Texas. I forgot to switch the picture out. Georgia gets in twice. It's fine.
Texas is a bold one.
Yeah, he said just to have fun, Texas. And then Georgia at 5, Utah at 6. Alabama beats Ohio State in the college football playoff national championship game. So yeah, I mean, sure, why not? Everyone's saying Bama, Ohio State, so yeah.
Yeah, that's who I picked, so I'm with it.
We're up next. Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, A&M, Georgia, Wisconsin. You freaking homer.
It is a total homer pick, that's for sure. But hey, I can see the path. I can see the vision.
Bama over Ohio State, just like Mark. Yeah. Status quo.
My feeling is that I feel as though it's going to be kind of a Bama revenge tour kind of vibe. They didn't lose a whole lot through the draft, surprisingly, unlike Georgia, which is why I have Georgia as the first out. Another reason is that for the first time in maybe like forever, I kind of feel like the East is a little harder to get through than the West this year in the SEC, because there's a lot of wild card teams, in my opinion. So when I was going through this and thinking about it, I think Georgia could reasonably lose to one of Florida, Tennessee, or Kentucky. And then in the SEC championship could feasibly lose to Alabama, which would keep them out. But Georgia's still going to be really good because even though they lost a lot of talent, they still got a bunch of dudes on there.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, I picked them because for the same reasons, I feel like they'll finish second in the West. They won't have to face Georgia in a conference championship game. So they'll finish with only one loss. They'll kind of eke in there. And then Clemson, I feel like they will return. Pitt, I don't think Pitt's going to be as successful as they were last year. I know they had a great game last night. Hopefully Keaton Slovis steps into the Kenny Pickett shoes, but I just don't see it happening. ACC is wide open as usual. So I think it could be a return to normal for Clemson. Wisconsin isn't a stranger to the top 10 in recent years. And I think that they have the schedule to do it. So their schedule is the problem is they play Ohio State twice and then Michigan State. So those are kind of the big ones, along with Minnesota, who you have winning the West. So those are the games that are kind of on there. But I think apart from Ohio State, there's the potential to win both of those against Michigan State and Minnesota. And if that happens, then they'd finish with 2 losses, probably coming from Ohio State twice, which would put them kind of at 6, which is where I went. But it is still a total homer pick, especially after last year being somewhat disappointing. And the fact that we have Graham Mertz as a quarterback. But I'm telling you, man, we'll talk about him in a little bit. Braylon Allen.
Yeah, I was interested to see the way that Texas A&M would still get in by not playing in the conference championship game, as opposed to someone like Mark has in and like I have in, Mark has them at 6, but I have them in Utah, being a Pac-12 champ. But yeah, mine again, Alabama, Ohio State. I have Alabama beating Utah though in the national championship game.
Wow.
So yeah, my scenario is that it plays out exactly like it did last year. Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, and they both get in because they would both be undefeated going to the SEC championship game. Ohio State wins the Big Ten. More than likely, they're undefeated. If not, they have 1 loss coming from, I don't know. I'd have to look at the schedule. Because they're not going to lose to Michigan 2 years in a row. I know that's not happening. Especially because they have a favorable home schedule this year where they play Penn State. Penn State's in Happy Valley, I think, this year. So that might be one. That might be their 1 loss. Because I don't think they'll have an issue with Notre Dame. The Wisconsin game comes in Columbus.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one in Happy Valley, or they play in East Lansing at Michigan State. Those are probably the only 2 threats to lose this year.
Yep.
They also got to go to College Park. I'm just putting it out there. They got to go to College Park, Maryland, to play the Terps.
Yeah.
Talia, hey man, they didn't get it done in 2018, but I remember in 2018, the Terps had them on a hook.
Yep.
Anthony McFarland had a whale of a game, and they couldn't finish it. But I'm just saying that in case that comes to fruition later, because they don't play Maryland until like the 3rd last week of the season, something like that. Yeah, as far as Utah, Pac-12 champ, I don't see them faltering this year and repeating as the conference champion. They're gonna have stiff competition, obviously, from Oregon, but I think putting them 7 in the preseason poll by the AP gave them a lot of respect for what they did last year and who they have coming back, Cameron Rising, as well as what they have on their defense. Even with losses in Devin Lloyd, they lost TJ Pledger at running back, but I think they'll be fine. Cam Rising showed us that they can be fine in the bowl game against Ohio State. So, yeah, Clemson, ACC champ. I think they're going to have 2 losses, though. It's going to keep them out. I don't know how they're going to get 2 losses, but they got to play NC State. I think NC State might get them this year. And if NC State does, NC State actually might win the ACC.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then A&M, I just think it's going to be another what if year for Jimbo. They're going to have, maybe one loss or two, and one of them's going to beat Bama. So, yeah.
Yeah. So what I love about your bracket, if this comes to fruition, is the Utah-Ohio State Rose Bowl rematch in the semifinal game. I that feels like we need another taste of that, because that game was electric. Thought Utah had it in the bag, man. I was pulling for them. So, yeah, I would like to see that happen.
Heisman, here we go. These are the guys. These are the three. We're all red on these teams. There's a lot of red teams, and we're all picking them. You like a red team. I like a red team. So Mark is going with Will Anderson Jr., popular public pick, being that you can get him at very good value if you're betting on it. And I would have went with him too, but I went different. So, of course, you went with your homer pick again, Braylon Allen, who is not bad. He's not bad by any stretch. I haven't heard one single person talk about him with the Heisman, though.
I'm telling you, man. Not yet, but by the end of the year, I'm seeing it. And here's why. I'll say this. So he quietly put together quite a lot of stats. Now, in order for him to get this, he's going to have to put up JT numbers. We're talking 20 touchdowns, somewhere in that range. But last year, he finished with 1,268 yards, 12 touchdowns. He averaged 6.8 yards on the ground, so almost 7 yards per carry, right? But the kicker is the first two games, he only saw 7 attempts and 5 attempts, respectively.
Yeah.
So the first 2 games of the year, last year, he barely played. This year, that's not going to be the case. They play, I forget who they play. They play FCS school tomorrow, Illinois State. He's going to get at least 30 touches in that game. They won't sit their starters until the fourth quarter at the earliest. And then they also play New Mexico State in the non-conference. So I think he has the potential to get a lot of volume, and I think he has the potential to capitalize on that volume. And this was kind of an ancillary thing with my CFP picks, because if the Badgers get close to that, this is why they're able to do that, is because he's in this conversation. Now, will it happen? I'm not sure. I think CJ Stroud, who's your pick, is definitely more realistic and probable, especially if you're putting money on it. But don't sleep. Don't sleep on it. Come the end of the year.
Well, I mean, and every time Wisconsin has, been in the Big Ten championship conversation, it's been because they've had a guy, Jonathan Taylor, Melvin Gordon, those kind of guys. So, yeah. But yeah, I went with the public consensus right now. He's plus 200 on DraftKings. He's the favorite. CJ Stroud, look, whenever people ask me who I think is going to win Heisman, I always say I don't know. And then they're like, what do you mean? It's going to be Bryce Young. I'm like, no, it's not. He's not going to go back to back. He's just not.
Yeah. It's hard to do that because the Heisman is it's kind of a media trophy to an extent, and like the media wants a new face to it. So it's hard to go back to back, period.
Yeah, and I mean he lost receivers. So but yeah, I mean Ohio State didn't barely lose. They lost to Olave, okay. But who didn't see what Jackson Smith and Jigba did last year,
Right.
who was their leading receiver, not Chris Olave, and what Marvin Harrison Jr. did in the Rose Bowl. So as much as I hate Ohio State, which I do with a passion, absolutely hate Ohio State, CJ Stroud is going to win the Heisman, and Ohio State's probably going to go to the national championship because they have Trayvon Henderson at running back too.
Yeah. Going from Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave to Julian Fleming and Marvin Harrison, like, should be illegal. Like, that's unfair to everyone else. And then, like you said, they already have the guy in Jackson Smith and Jigba, who I also feel like could be a Heisman candidate. I think he could put up a type of Devonta Smith year to where he's in that conversation. So yeah, CJ Stroud definitely could put up some video game numbers here.
One sleeper for Heisman, though, I would say, and I know it's not going to happen because they had a wide receiver in 2019. It's very difficult to win wide receiver when your quarterback, if you know, your quarterback doesn't win it. But I don't know. It just popped into my head. Why not Jordan Addison? He won the Biletnikoff last year. If it works with Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams is the dude that they all say he is, I mean, why not Jordan Addison?
Yeah. I think he's definitely moving towards, even though he had Kenny Pickett, I think he could definitely potentially be moving towards a better situation in terms of Lincoln Riley. In terms of, they put out enough good wide receivers to where he can't be zeroed in on to an extent. Caleb Williams was a little hot and cold last year, but he's super talented. If he can be consistent, I mean, dude's got all the talent in the world. So yeah, it's not the worst idea, and I'm not sure what the odds are that you can get him at. But yeah,
I'll also put out one guy. I was going to put a guy in here that there's not anyone in the world that is talking about him. I bet you. A guy that you can get pretty good odds on. Cade Klubnik, okay? Backup quarterback for Clemson. I'm telling you.
Yeah. If he wins the starting job,
I'm not a DJ believer. And if DJ struggles, I don't know. I think Cade Klubnik could be interesting.
Well, Cade Klubnik is a big reason why I picked Clemson to potentially go to the CFP again, return, because again, if DJ has the year he did last year, they have Klubnik in the wings potentially to start. So yeah, I mean, you take the risk, you're betting on DJ failing, but I mean, it's definitely not unheard of.
Yeah. All right.
All right, I'm gonna run and grab my charger. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Logan just wanted to run away because he has a nice 3-game lead. It's fine. Mark and I are coming back this week. Week 0, you never know what's gonna happen. Favorites so far, including last night, which we didn't pick those games. Favorites have went 26-1 straight up so far. Absolutely ridiculous. So I know there's a lot of talk about dogs barking on week 1 this weekend. We'll have to see, but we'll have to see the picks here. We are getting some kickoffs here. The 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern games kicking off. There's 4 of them. We're only picking 2 of them. But yeah, You have a 3-game lead. It's fine. It's week 0. Yeah, like I said, this game just kicked off. Western Michigan at number 15, Michigan State. 21-point favorites is Sparty. They're not going to have an issue. Obviously they got to replace Kenneth Walker this year. And actually Western just held them to a 3-and-out. So there you go. I like Peyton Thorne though. He's good. They'll get it done. They got is that a Wisconsin transfer?
It is, yeah.
Jalen Berger. There you go.
Yeah. You know, Berger, we were all super excited about 4-star prospect. But he transferred because Ches Malusi transferred from Clemson, and then Braylon Allen came in. So,
hey man, it was a wide open spot.
Mhm.
He's sitting there once Walker left. So
Yeah.
why not? Over under for this game is 54.5. I don't know because I just don't know. It's one of those where Western Michigan's not like bad. Like they're not necessarily good, but they're just like middling. So I don't know if Michigan State's really gonna like annihilate them. And I don't know how much Western can score.
Exactly.
So-
Yeah. I think I'd hit the under for exactly what you just said, is that I'm not sure Michigan State can crush them enough to just separate. And I'm also not sure Western Michigan can score enough to like push it over. So,
Yeah. 7, like I said, just kicked off. It's on ESPN2 right now. Virginia Tech, 6-point favorites at Old Dominion. This one is going to get scrappy. I'm telling you. It's an in-state matchup here in Virginia. I don't remember where Old Dominion is. But anyways, yeah, Virginia matchup here. Brent Pryce, first game as head coach of the Hokies. I think they get it done. There's a lot of people that like ODU +6, and I just don't see it.
yeah.
Even with, I think they have a new. Oh no, they don't. Braxton Burmeister is back, I believe. So I think they should be fine. Brent Pryce is a very good head coach. I was sad to lose him from Penn State. And they should be good. They'll cover 6.
Yep. Old Dominion is Norfolk. I thought that's what it was. Old Dominion was my NCAA 14 first dynasty.
Dude, I did that same thing.
You did? Yep.
Because they're the worst team in the game.
Yep. They're the worst team in the game, but they had decent unis, so I picked them.
Yeah, man, the Monarchs.
Yes, sir.
Over under is 48. I am going under. Look, Brent Pryce is a defensive coach. I don't think they're going to let Old Dominion score very much. And Virginia Tech, Raheem Blackshear's in the NFL now at running back. I do like Braxton Burmeister, but I think it goes under 48. Very low score for college football. Going on ESPNU right now. Temple at Duke. Yes, sir. Give me the Lone Dog. Give me the Blue Devils. It's at Duke. Temple's got to travel down there to North Carolina. Look, Temple, I have seen DeJuan Mathis play. It's not good. Do I know what Duke has? Not really. But I'm just banking on the team that's a 9.5-point favorite getting it done at home against the Owls. Yeah. Over under for this one is 51.5. Give me the under. Yeah, no, I don't like either team's offense. I don't even know who the head coaches are because Cutcliffe left
Yep.
Duke. or got fired. I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, that's going to be a game where there isn't going to be a team that wins. It's just one of the teams is going to lose.
3-0. That's the score. Yeah. Temple covers. I do like that, though. I do like. Give me 9.5 for Temple. I'll take that.
That seems pretty rich for Duke. It's a lot of faith in Duke football.
7:30 on ACC Network. Here's a Big Ten matchup on a Friday night. Illinois, Indiana. Illinois 1-0. They won last week, rolling over Wyoming. I'm not seeing it though. It's Illinois. Come on.
Yeah.
They have Chase Brown. Okay. They have Chase Brown. Tommy DeVito comes over from Syracuse. Whatever. Again, I don't really know what Indiana has. I'm just banking on Tom Allen getting it done at home.
Yeah. I love Tom Allen as a coach. My big thing is the loss of Michael Penix. I think that's a big enough loss where there's going to be an adjustment period. And I think Illinois has at least figured out a little bit of who they are, at least who they have in their running game. So I think this early in the season, Indiana's still adjusting to the loss of Penix. I think that's why I picked Illinois to eke it out, but I think it's going to be a close Big Ten game.
1 point spread. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Over under is 46.5.
Big Ten football's back, baby.
Under.
Yep.
8 p.m. FS1. Last game for us tonight, TCU at Colorado. Horned Frogs getting 13.5 on the road, and they'll cover that. Look, Colorado is terrible. They are so bad. They got railed by the transfer portal this year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I don't know who they have.
Well, they weren't good to begin with, and then anything that they had was then vultured.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just saying, like, Jarek Broussard left, and there were a couple of receivers that left too. But
Brendan Rice.
Max Duggan's back for his 10th year at TCU. Horned Frogs get it done and covered tonight. Over under is 59. I like the under. Yeah. Colorado ain't gonna score much.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Like, Colorado could easily be kept under 10 points.
Yeah. That one's late one. I won't be watching it because I'll be working. But 10 p.m. on ESPN. They're on national TV though.
Prime time, baby.
The Buffs getting some coverage there.
There you go.
All right, here we go. Tomorrow's slate, starting out Sam Houston State at number 6, Texas A&M. We're all on the Aggies, of course. So I was interested to see Sam Houston did not even make the preseason top 25 in FCS. I mean, they have lost a bunch of players the last couple of years. Jaquez Ezzard, specifically one of those guys. But yeah, I was surprised they didn't make it in the top 25 FCS. Gonna be a good game for Jimbo to evaluate some stuff. And I couldn't find a line for it. A bunch of this was the only FCS FBS matchup I didn't see a line for. I don't know if it's just like that bad that they just didn't put a line for it. But yeah, 12 p.m. SEC Network. Colorado State at number 8, Michigan. The biggest question in the game: will Michigan cover 30.5?
Jeez.
I don't know. I don't like taking anything that's 30 plus, even
No, yeah,
against
that's
a team like Colorado State, which isn't bad. The Colorado State's usually pretty feisty, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I might actually I mean, they are going into to Michigan, so maybe not, but I don't know.
I do think Michigan scores 63.
Yeah. Yeah, don't touch it. Just stay away. Either way, just stay away.
Over under is 61.5. So I already said I like the over. Michigan's going to get it done by themselves. 12 p.m. ABC. Don't know why that game's on ABC, but whatever. I like this matchup. Number 13, NC State, 11.5 points on the road at ECU. I think I already mentioned NC State as a contender against Clemson in the ACC. But for this to be the first game, I am taking ECU plus 11.5. Holden Ahlers is a very good quarterback that not many people know about because he goes to ECU. But it's an in-state rivalry, and I think they can cover. Keep it close.
Was ECU were they the runner-up in the Fun Belt last year?
No, ECU plays in the American.
Never mind. Oh, they were the runner-up in the American, right? They played Cincinnati?
No, their records usually aren't too good, but like Holden Ahlers is just very good.
Trying to figure out.
Yeah, so they finished 4th last year in the American. 7-5, 7-5, 5-3 in conference. But they were 4-2 away or at home. So, it's fine. Taking the points with ECU.
Mm-hmm.
Over under 51.5. I'm going over.
And as we talked about the way too early mocks, guy to look for, NC State. If they're going to go as far as you think they are, it's going to be because of Devin Leary, their quarterback. He's a guy that a lot of guys like. I haven't gotten to watch him play yet, but I'm eager to kind of see how he does.
You want me to put another one on your radar for NC State?
Love it.
Wide receiver Emeka Emezi. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's a senior. 12 p.m. on ESPN. South Dakota State at Iowa. Iowa, the Hawkeyes getting 16.5 at home. And yeah, I'm taking the Jackrabbits. Why not? Why can't they go in to Kinnick Stadium and beat Iowa? Tell me reason why.
Because Iowa typically plays tough, fundamental football. And they're at home.
Look, South Dakota State's ranked number 2 in the preseason FCS poll. And they lost some guys last year. They lost Chris Oladukin at quarterback, and they lost Pierre Strong Jr. at running back. But I think they're going to be fine. I think the Jackrabbits have turned into one of the best teams in the FCS, and I'm giving them a shot.
Hey, I love a bold pick. And if it works out, you're going to be able to lord it over us. If not, I don't know. Those standings might not move next week.
Could you imagine, though, if they actually did it? Like,
well, not too long ago, didn't North Dakota State take it to Iowa?
yeah, but that's North Dakota State. Like, everyone expects North Dakota State to be able to beat an FBS team. You know, maybe not a Big Ten team like Iowa,
Right.
but, you know, like South Dakota State, I just don't feel like they have been in the conversation in terms of like the best couple yes teams of the last few years.
That's
I think it's just really been like the last 2 or 3 years that South Dakota State has really came on and moved forward as a program, because it's always been North Dakota State, James Madison. That's those have been the two, and then like everyone else. So you see the Montana schools coming too. Montana State, number 3 and number 4 in the FCS preseason.
I'll tell you what, the pictures from that game are beautiful. Those two stadiums that they got, Montana State, are gorgeous, and that rivalry is very fun.
Yeah. Lance McCutcheon, Montana State, guy that made the roster. He did make the 53 for the Rams.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. This one is gonna be a fight. UNC at Appalachian State. Look, I'm taking the freshman, man. It was Florida A&M, I understand, but how he looked that entire game. I mean, UNC's in good hands.
Yeah.
They got to travel to Boone, but and Mark likes the Mountaineers. I don't blame him. It's a quality pick. This is going to be a good game.
Yeah, Drake May was a highly touted prospect, 4-star. And he looks like it. So hopefully they have their Sam Howell successor.
Yeah, I know one of the things about this game I saw in the game preview was Chase Bryce going up against the suspect UNC secondary. So that's one to look at. But Chase Bryce does not have Thomas Hennigan anymore at wide receiver. So they got to fill in that gap. But I still think they still have Cameron Peoples, though, at running back. Very good running back for them. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if App State wins, considering they're at home. Over-under is 56.5. I like the over. I like the over. There's going to be points in this game. Yeah. 12 p.m. ESPNU. There we go. There it is. Number 11, Oregon at number 3, Georgia. Go Dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be a good game. I do agree. I think it's going to be a good game. But for one, it's in Atlanta. It's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Yeah.
The home game for Georgia on a neutral field. I don't like 17, however.
Really?
I'm not touching the game. No, it's against Oregon. Oregon is a good team.
I don't know, man.
And they have Dan Lanning.
Yeah, but it's his first game. He hasn't gotten to implement his culture yet. Yeah, I mean Bo Nix should be an upgrade over who they had.
It's gonna be nice to beat Bo Nix again.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think this could be a case where, like, you know, Oregon, okay, like non-conference, we're gonna mix it up. And I mean, they did take it to Ohio State last year, so maybe they can do it again. But in my opinion, I think they're gonna get their bell rung.
Yeah. Bo Nix transferred from Auburn thinking that he was getting away from the SEC teams.
And he's facing possibly the best one.
Over under is it's low. It's 54. I mean, hey, we had Georgia Clemson last year score 13 total points.
Yeah. That could be a motivating factor there, but yeah, I don't see that happening.
This one is 3:30 on ABC.
And I'll tell you what, this game though is loaded with NFL talent. Loaded. Yeah. Jalen Carter, Keely Ringo, Nolan Smith leading the Dogs defense. And another two defensive players to look for. Oregon, Noah Sewell, linebacker, and Christian Gonzalez. It's a guy, I think he's 50th right now on mock draftable.
Yeah.
So he's a guy that a lot of scouts like.
Yeah, gonna have to see who they replace Kayvon Thibodeau with.
Mm-hmm.
UTEP at number 9, Oklahoma. The Sooners are 30-point favorites in Norman. Brett Venables' first game as head coach. Yeah. I'm excited. I really liked Dylan Gabriel at UCF. And I think he's going to get a chance to, it's crazy, but to think about it, but even expand more than what he already was at UCF. Same offensive coordinator. Jeff Levy comes over from UCF to Oklahoma to be Venables' offensive coordinator. So Gabriel already knows the system. He had upgrades at receiver now in Marvin Mims. And I don't remember who the other guys are that they have, but Marvin Mims specifically. Yeah, I think Oklahoma's going to roll. I hate it because I liked UTEP last week and they got crushed by North Texas. So, yeah, it's not going to be pretty for the Miners.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the new look Sooners. Basically across the board. Marvin Mims being kind of the mainstay, the guy who stuck around, a true Sooner. And yeah, my thing with Dylan Gabriel's always been kind of inconsistency. There's definitely been some questionable decision making in the past, but like you said, this is an outstanding situation for him. And I think it'll help him be more consistent.
Over under is decently low for this game. 57.
Yeah.
And can UTEP score? I feel like Oklahoma's going to need UTEP to score one touchdown to help them out with the over.
Yeah, it's tough.
Maybe. I mean, Oklahoma can do it by themselves. I know they can. It's just how early do they take the foot off the gas?
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's risky.
3:30 on Fox. Bethune Cookman. Oh, baby.
Oh, my God.
At number 16, Miami.
Is that a real spread? That's not a typo?
Nope. Yeah, the Canes are 48.5-point favorites at home. Look, Bethune Cookman is terrible. They are very, very bad team. And they are getting a lot of money to go to Miami, Florida, and Coral Gables and get completely annihilated. Tyler Van Dyke's going to throw for 300 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And this is going to be over at halftime.
They're going to be doing Tyler Van Dyke, New York Giants jersey swaps.
He is one of my favorite quarterbacks for next year's draft right now, preseason wise anyways. But yeah, I believe in Tyler Van Dyke this year. I'm excited about him. And Miami's gonna roll very early and often. The over under here is 62.5. I'm going over. Miami's gonna do it by themselves. I like it. It's at a perfect number, 62.5. Multiple of 7 is 63. So good times.
There you go.
All you need is 9 touchdowns. That's all. That's all you need.
Easy.
Yeah. Then I already said Van Dyke's going to score 5, so maybe the running backs score 2 other ones, and then the backups score 2. 3:30 ACC Network. I'll have to make sure I watch that one. Here we go. Ranked matchup. I think this is the only. This is one of 3 ranked matchups that we have this weekend. It's the only one no one's talking about.
Yeah.
Number 23 Cincinnati at number 19 Arkansas. The Hogs getting 6.5 at home. The smart pick is probably to take Arkansas. I understand that. I like Luke Fickell though. Give me Cincy on the road. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a good game though.
Yeah.
Aircats are my pick.
I love Luke Fickell. I think he's a hell of a coach. I love that he stayed at Cincinnati, and I think that he can build something there, especially once they make the move to the Big 12.
Yeah.
But I think this year it's going to be a bit much for Cincy. They lost. They lost a 4-year starter at quarterback. They lost a shutdown corner in Ahmad Gardner.
Yeah.
Lost their starting safety. Lost J. Sanders, Beavers,
Brian Cook, Kobe Bryant,
Alex
Pierce.
Forgot about Pierce. Yep. So it is a completely revamped roster. I still think they're going to be competitive because Luke Fickell's that guy. But I think going into Arkansas, SEC school, and apart from Traylon Burks, the Razorbacks were able to retain some guys. They still got who's their quarterback? KJ Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Like KJ Jefferson. And Jalen Catalan. I was shocked when he didn't come out for the draft. Their leader on the defense, the safety position, has a good shot to go in the first 2 rounds next year. So I think Arkansas could be one of those teams that could be scrappy in the SEC.
They still have their running back too, I believe. I don't remember what his name is, but I think they still have that their starting running back from last year as well. Over under is 53.5. I feel like the books are putting these numbers so low this week 1 for some reason, just like enticing people to bet overs because I want to bet over on a lot of games. And when you look at just like Thursday, in terms of just our games, which we picked, we picked 7 of them, I think. No, we picked 11 games on last week, I think.
Yeah, week 0. Yep.
We picked 7, I think, last night. And last night's games, in terms of just ours that we picked, I think 6 out of 7 went over or something like that. Maybe two of the 7 we picked, I don't know, went under. But yeah, a lot of these lines are just very enticing to pick the over. And I think we're going to see a lot of points this weekend in this game too. So I'm hitting the over. 3:30 ESPN. Number 24, Houston, 4-point favorites at UTSA. I was very close to picking the Roadrunners. I like them, man. They got Frank Harris back at quarterback. Sincere McCormick is gone, unfortunately, but they do still have their backup from last year, and I believe Zaire Franklin is back as well. So yeah, I was close, but Clayton Tune got me and made me pick the Cougs.
Yeah, I like Houston. I think they're probably my favorite to come out of the AAC. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it for UTSA. I think they're just going to be kind of outmatched in terms of talent wise. So I do like Houston probably -4. I think they at least probably are a touchdown ahead.
Well, UTSA, they are the defending Conference USA champions, so Houston better watch out. Upset alert.
There's still time. You can flip your
3:30 CBS Sportsnet. North Dakota at Nebraska. Are we picking 22-point dogs on the road? Hell yeah, we are. Scott Frost is going to get fired after week 2, going 0-2 as favorites.
wow.
Yeah, UND is a team that wasn't ranked in the top 25 of the FCS poll either. But it's fine. The Fighting Hawks will fight very well. And like I said, Scott Frost is going to be gone after this weekend.
I just don't. I mean, Scott Frost might be gone. That's for sure. That could definitely happen. But I just don't see North Dakota pulling it out at Nebraska. Man, I'm riding solo on Nebraska. You guys must have gotten some insider information that am not privy to.
Hey man, we like our FCS goals on this show. And when you look at, let me try to find this game here on the ESPN app. When you look at North Dakota, matchup predictors giving them a 2.1% chance to win. That's fine. Tommy Schuster's back. He's in his junior year. Otis Weah is gone, unfortunately, at running back. They do have Isaiah Smith coming back. Bo Belquist, is he back? Yes, he is. Their leading receiver from last year. And Adam Zavalny at tight end, who is their 4th leading receiver. Is Garrett Magg back? Oh, yeah, Garrett Magg's back too. And Luke Skokna. So there's another running back that I like. So, yeah, they got some guys back. Tommy Schuster's a little gunslinger there at UND, so I think it's going to be a fun game. And North Dakota's going to cover. That's for sure. They're going to cover. But I'm going to take them to win, too. And the only reason Mark's riding it is because I was on the phone talking to him, and he asked me who I was taking. I said, North Dakota. And he's like, all right, I'll roll with you. And then he originally was going to take South Dakota State against Iowa with me, but he said he couldn't have both North Dakota and South Dakota State. So he chose he said switch to Iowa and leave North Dakota to beat Nebraska.
Of the two, if I had to pick the two, I would have picked South Dakota State. That's for
sure. The over-under for this game is 50.5. Again, it's so enticing. Give me over. I mean, why not? Nebraska scored what, 31 last week?
Yeah, against Northwestern, yeah.
3:30 Big Ten Network. Troy at number 21, Ole Miss. New quarterback. I don't know who it is. I don't follow recruiting, so that's fine.
It's Jackson Dart, transfer portal, baby.
Oh, that's right, Jackson Dart. Lane Kiffin will get it done. It's an easy game against Troy. Troy is they fight though. They're not Trojans for nothing, you know. Got to go back to the historical context of the mascot.
Well said. Well said.
Over under is 57. I don't like that one as much. It's pushing 60. Not gonna sway either side there. 4 p.m. SEC Network. A thought popped into my head with these because SEC Network constantly always has 4 p.m. Eastern games, right? And I just thought it's because SEC Network wanted to be CBS. Because CBS gets the 3:30 slots, and they're like, "Fine, we'll do one better. We'll go a half an hour later." Number 25, BYU at USF. I was kind of shocked that the Cougs were only 11.5 at USF.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I know, the Bulls are absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, BYU lost Tyler Algier. They lost Samson Asua, or I never remember which one, whether it's Samson or Kai Nasua. But they lost Neil Powell at wide receiver as well. Trying to remember who else they had that they lost. Don't remember. Tyler Algier is the big one, though. You know.
Wow.
But they do have. Oh, what's the quarterback's name?
Jaron Hall, baby.
Jaron Hall, yeah, man.
Jaron
He's
Hall
coming back. I'm excited about Jaron Hall. So yeah, they should. I think they're gonna absolutely smack USF.
Yeah, I like Jaron Hall, man. He put some stuff on tape that's. I'll tell you what. Well, first off, I love Kalani Sitake too. Ever since he came into Madison, and just absolutely dominated us in Camp Randall as a severe underdog. I've been like, man, this guy's got it. He is definitely building something there. And I'll tell you what, if they can roll from Zach Wilson to, Jaron Hall, and Jaron Hall can be somebody, we could be looking at a BYU renaissance, man.
Why not? Over under is 58. I'm going under. No confidence in the USF offense. 4 p.m. ESPNU. Rice, the Owls, headed out to number 14 USC. And this is what we're talking about. This is what we want to see. How's it look?
Yeah.
Williams to Addison.
Yep.
That's all we want to see.
It's the perfect game to do it too.
Yeah. One person that I don't think is getting a lot of love that transferred to USC as well is Travis Dye, coming from Oregon.
Yeah.
I liked him at Oregon a lot. I'm excited to see how he does in the USC. Because that's one thing people don't talk about. Lincoln Riley has good running attacks because they throw it so effectively that there's so much space usually.
Yeah.
In light boxes.
Yeah. He's helped produce some guys in the league, and adjacent to that, USC's known traditionally, at least, as a pretty good RB school. So,
yeah, he's got Ramondre Stevenson in the league, and he also Kennedy Brooks didn't make the 53 for the Eagles, but I think he's on the practice squad. So, over under is 61.5. Now USC's 32.5 favorites. I already said I don't like 30-point plus.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if they covered that and hit the over by themselves.
Yeah.
6 p.m. Pac-12 Network. I won't be able to watch that one. I don't get Pac-12. It's the only one I don't get. I get ACC, SEC because they're ESPN networks,
Right.
and I get Big Ten because it's a part of the Marquette's cable package.
Yes, sir.
Here we go, dude. Mid Tennessee at James Madison. JMU's first game as an FBS school in the Sun Belt. I'm excited. Literally, 5's too low. 5 is too low for James Madison. They are crazy good, and I'm not saying they're gonna like completely just crush Mid Tennessee, but it's not like they're going up against, like, if they were going up against Conference USA champion UTSA, I would say UTSA maybe wins, but Mid Tennessee's just what their name is. They're a middle level. They're a mid-level Conference USA team. So
Yeah, that's generous, probably.
Yeah. So I think JMU being at home is going to be a good time for their first FBS game.
Yeah, I think it's a good story. I love seeing some of these FCS teams jump to the FBS. Would love to see North Dakota State do it. Not sure why they haven't done it.
They want
now
because why? They can win a national championship.
That's true. That's true. But
and NFL teams have started to see that you can go to North Dakota State and get quality prospects.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, I like James.
Over under is 59. I'm hitting the under button. Under 59. 6 p.m. ESPN Plus. Number 7, Utah at Florida. Billy Napier's first game as head coach of the Gators. And you're lone wolfing the Gators at home against a top 10 team.
Yep.
In a head coach's first start. And a quarterback's first start, really.
Yeah.
The guy.
Yep. And so my reasoning for this, it's 3 parts. One is I love Billy Napier, and I think he was an outstanding slam dunk hire for Florida. And the reason is that because, I think Florida probably historically would have tried to make a move for maybe a flashier name. But instead they went with the guy who all he did was establish a winning culture at Louisiana from the ground up and just win. And he helped put some guys in the league too while doing it. So I love Billy Napier as a coach, love the coaching hire. And now he's getting probably his most talented team he's ever had, at least in terms of recruiting and some guys. So that's the first reason why I like Florida. Second is because it's at home. Obviously, the Swamp is a great atmosphere. The first game, so fans are going to be there. They're going to be loud. My third reason, I'm an Anthony Richardson believer, man. I am. I think that he's got all the talent in the world. He's got a cannon of an arm. He is way too fast for a 6'4", 240 quarterback. So I'm a believer, and I think I'm a believer too because of the pairing with Billy Napier. I think he's going to establish a sound, fundamental team on both sides of the ball, which is going to help Anthony Richardson be consistent. Now, whether he's able to do that in the first game or not, we'll obviously see. And I do like Utah. They are a very good team. But for those reasons, wanted to go with UF. So I took them at home.
Yeah, I will say Kyle Whittingham is a better coach.
He is. He's a good
Kyle
coach.
Whittingham has been at Utah for a long time, and he finally has the Utes back to where they used to be, near the top of the rankings. I'm a big believer in Utah. Cameron Rising had his coming out party at the Rose Bowl, even in a loss. I just think the Utes are going to be way too much for the Florida defense on offense. And they have some guys on defense as well, even with losing Devin Lloyd and Nefi Sewell as well. I think they'll be fine on defense. Whittingham will get them up to play. And he's going to tell them, you're the number 7 team in the country for a reason. Go be the number 7 team in the country. So I'm taking the points too. I like 3. It's a good number in an away game.
Mhm.
Over under is 51.5. I'm scared on one front that this is going to end up as like a defensive game and that it's going to go under, but I think just gut feeling it's going to go way over.
Yeah.
Rising and Richardson are going to duel it out. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd smash the over actually in this case. I think you could be seeing a similar game to when they played Ohio State, where it's kind of lots of scoring, lots of offense oriented stuff. So
7 p.m. ESPN. It's prime time at the Swamp too. Albany, the Great Danes. They're headed to Waco to play number 10 Baylor. It is a 41.5 point spread for the Baylor Bears.
well, you didn't want to pick this FCS school? What's going on?
Yeah, Albany is not that great. Even they have a great mascot, but yeah, no. Yeah, Baylor's gonna roll pretty quickly. And I don't know what the issue was. I don't know if I had the wrong stuff on my website that I check FCS versus FBS spreads on. Because they're usually hard to find. So I had it on OddsShark as 44.5. So with the spread being 41.5, you're getting 44.5 as the total, meaning Albany is going to get shut out.
Yeah.
Essentially. I don't even know, because sometimes they'll have them on DraftKings, but most of the times they don't. Oh, they do have some FBS, FCS here. Let's see what we got on DraftKings. Sam Houston at Texas A&M game. A&M's 30-point favorite. Totals at 52. Where am I at here? Okay, so we got Utah, Florida. Do they not have? Because this is a 6 Central game. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's 44.5 on DraftKings. That's correct. And it's a 42.5 spread on DraftKings. So you're banking that Baylor's going to score 45-0.
I'd smash the over.
It's a good bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
7 p.m. That's on Big 12 Network and ESPN Plus. There you go. Illinois State coming to Madison at number 18, Wisconsin. It's the same kind of thing. 33.5 for the Badgers. 39.5 is the over under.
Yeah. And
I mean, come on.
honestly, though, I might go the other way with this one because I've seen it because like Wisconsin it drives me nuts because this is the exact kind of game where like I want to get Graham Mertz a little bit of rhythm and kind of airing it out a little bit more. He'll have like 7 pass attempts in this game, and they'll just run the ball for the entire game, which will chew up clock. And then by the end of it, you'll see the box score and it'll be like 35-7. And you're like, wow, they should have won by more. Well, they didn't win by more because they've just been running it for 60 minutes.
Hey man, 35-7 gets the over though.
That's true.
I thought you were gonna say 35-0. And then it goes under, but they still cover. Illinois. I would say though, Illinois State, while not ranked in the FCS top 25, Illinois State is not a pushover. They are a decent Missouri Valley team, the best conference in the FCS. So, yeah, 7 p.m. FS1. Miami, Ohio, the Redhawks at number 20, Kentucky. Yeah, Will Levis coming out party here. Time to show your stuff, young man. You got a first round date you got to make in a couple months. So
yeah, this is the start. And I mean, if he can do that, Will Levis is another guy. We didn't talk about him in the Heisman stuff, but I think he's another guy who's a sneaky kind of candidate. And yeah, I mean, I like Kentucky minus 15 here because I think the Wildcats are going to be pretty good this year in the SEC.
Yeah, a guy other than Will Levis that I absolutely love, running back Chris Rodriguez Jr.
Yeah,
great running back for them. Over under is 54. That's a little skeptical. Not sure about that one. 7 p.m. SEC Network and SEC Network Plus and ESPN.
Oh, of course.
ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get that premium for the SEC Network. Look, this one's going to be a good game. These kind of games are the reason why I put unranked games on here, because a lot of people just pay attention to the top 25. That's good. That's fine. But a lot of the time, especially early on in the season, top 25 teams, most of them are playing just scrubs. So, but we get these unranked games that are just great. Army, Coastal, I mean, these two teams are going to be very good this year. You're lone wolfing the Black Knights. Good for you. They have a first round pick at defensive end.
Yeah.
Carter. I've been in love with Coastal Carolina, Jamie Chadwell, Grayson McCall.
Yeah.
Since like 2020. And it's not stopping because Chadwell and McCall are still there. They lost a ton of stuff on offense. Isaiah Likely at tight end, Javon Hiley at wide receiver. I think they lost their running back too. I can't remember what their running back's name was, but I think McCall is a sneaky quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll come out this year. Yeah.
But McCall's in that class of QB where it's like, this is why a lot of people are excited about the 2023 class, because like, it's like guys like him, Devin Leary, Tanner McKee, where it's like, if these dudes put together a really good 2022 season, it opens like everything up in terms of them coming out and it being a really solid QB class. So he is a guy that I'm excited to see.
So no reason that you're picking Army?
My reason for picking Army is that I think Andre Carter II can be a game wrecker. I think him going up against that O-line can potentially mitigate Grayson McCall's effectiveness. And yeah, I mean, the way Army plays, like, they can just kind of keep it close. And like if it gets into that kind of defensive battle, I want to go with the guys with the best defensive players. That was my reasoning for picking Army.
Yeah. And for Coastal, you have to make the most out of every possession you get because you just don't know how many you're going to get.
Yep.
With the Army offense. Over under is 53.5. I'm smashing the under, dude.
Yeah.
53.5 with an Army team. No chance. 7 p.m. ESPN Plus. Utah State. The Aggies coming off a win. Granted, a 14-point come from behind win against UConn at home. They're headed to Tuscaloosa to play number 1 Alabama, and it's going to be a nice payday for Utah State.
Yep. Just if I was Utah State's head coach, each possession I would just show like the bank, like the check. Like I'd just be like, look, this is why we're here.
I just say, I'll just take the check and then we forfeit. Let's go home.
Yeah. It's like, hey, look. Yeah, I mean, good luck, guys. All power to you.
Yeah. If they were struggling early on with UConn, and they got it turned around with Logan Bonner in the offense, but with how the rush defense looked from UConn. Now, granted, Alabama, it's weird. They have kind of turned into this like passing attack with Bryce Young and the receivers. And I really don't even know who replaced some of the guys at running back and wide receiver last year from Alabama.
Yeah.
So
they have your transfer, your boy Jermaine Burton.
Yeah. At running back though, I don't remember who they have.
Yeah.
Whoever it is going to have a very good day. That's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Like Utah State was struggling against the UConn run offense. Alabama's going to run all over. I think Saban's going to just ground and pound them because that's what it looked like from week 0.
Oh, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Right. Georgia Tech transfer. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a stud.
So he'll have over 100 yards easily in this game.
Over
under is 63 though. Do you think that Bama can get it to 63? I know for a fact that Bama is not going to cover 41.5. You know why? Because
why?
I believe I don't have the exact stats, but I believe Saban has only ever covered one time as a 40+ point favorite. I think that's the stat. Not confirmed though.
Yeah,
so
I don't
take the 41.5 with Utah State, but I don't know if Alabama is going to score enough to get it within striking distance that all they need is like one score from Utah State.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't touch this one.
7:30 SEC Network. The big one. Top 5 matchup in Columbus. Number 5 Notre Dame at number 2 Ohio State. It's not even close. Everyone's on Ohio State. Sorry, Marcus Freeman, but it's not going to be pretty. Unlike Georgia, where I don't like 17, I think I'm leaning toward taking the 17 with Ohio State. Notre Dame, especially under Brian Kelly, has struggled against top 5 teams, and it's going to continue.
Yeah. I mean, I'd smash Ohio State minus 17, to be honest with you. My problem with Notre Dame in recent years is that I always feel like they get by a lot with obviously not being in a conference, and then just their like name recognition. Not to say that like I think five's too much, because they did have a good year last year. I don't think that's going to last though. They have serious questions at quarterback. I mean, you look at the offense, there's just not a lot of talent there, in my opinion, outside of their tight end, Michael Meyer, who I love. I don't know who their wide receivers are. They lost Kevin Austin to the draft, Kevin Austin Jr. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they'll have a good defense again this year. They'll be competitive, but I don't think they're going to be competitive in this game. I just don't think their offense is going to get it done. And I think Ohio State could literally potentially come out and just like light up the scoreboard.
Oh yeah.
Like, because everyone forgets, like, also in like the CJ Stroud of it all and all their wide receivers, Travion Henderson is like a dude. Like he's also a guy who could potentially win the Heisman, because he's that talented. Yeah, Ohio State's just a complete team to me, and I have them winning big.
Yeah, I concur with everything. Over under is 59. I like the over.
Yeah,
I think Notre Dame scores enough to help out. They're a team player. They'll be a team player and score 10 or 17.
Yeah.
7:30 on ABC. That's Herbstreit and Fowler there. Boise State at Oregon State, the nightcap. Look, man, I put this one on because it is less than a 3-point spread. I was shocked that no one wanted to take the Beavers, and Mark actually rolled with you on this. But I was thinking about it. I was thinking about taking Hank Bachmeier and the Broncos, going up to Corvallis and winning. But I like the Beavers. I've been a Beaver fan, low key. You know, they're just scrappy. They go high under the radar, and they have some pieces on offense too. So I think the Beavs can get it done at home.
Yeah, they had a good record last year, or at least decent. They played some teams really close. So yeah, I mean, in a non-conference game playing against Boise State, yeah, I got the Beavers.
Yeah, and Chance Nolan is a big part of that at quarterback. BJ Baylor's gone to your Packers.
Mm-hmm. Another big stat here I just pulled up. They were 6-0 at home last year.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the nightcap. Over under is 56. Whoa, I'm going under. Pac-12. Pac-12 after dark is said.
It's a tough watch at times, that's for sure.
Well, it's at 10:30 Eastern for those on the East Coast. On ESPN, though, it is a national game. So, okay, and then one final thing. Actually, before we talk about this one, I'll just give some score updates on the games going on. Michigan State's up 21-3. Western Michigan, I believe, is going to go for it. They're at the Michigan State 1, 4th and goal. I'll give updates on all the games, even though ones we didn't cover. Eastern Michigan up on Eastern Kentucky, 7-3. Virginia Tech, they're up 7-3 on Old Dominion. Upset brewing. I might look into this one live to bet on it, possibly, depending on what the line is and when I look at the stats. William and Mary on the road. Beating Charlotte 17-3 right now. 8 to go in the second quarter. My Duke Blue Devils, they're up 10-0. So not covering Temple right now. The Owls gotta help us out, score some to get the cover. I might look on that live to see if it's double digits right now. And then Kansas up on Tennessee Tech 7-0. Illinois, Indiana just started. Illinois is about to punt. Oh, and then I forgot the Sunday game. Sunday, we got a game. It's the second, or no, that's not this is the All-State kickoff, I believe. The All-State kickoff game. Because there's 2 Chick-fil-A kickoff games. Clemson plays Georgia Tech on Monday, which we'll talk about on the Monday show. And then Georgia, Oregon is the other. I never understand. They always have 2 Chick-fil-A kickoffs every year. They both play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Like, why you got to name the game 2 different games, same thing? Doesn't make sense.
When you got that Chick-fil-A money, you get to just throw that around.
They got a lot of Chick-fil-A money in Atlanta, that's for sure. But Florida State at LSU. Florida State got the big win last week against whoever they played. I don't remember. Some FCS team. Duquesne. That's right. Duquesne. They just railed Duquesne last week by 40 points. LSU. What to see, Brian Kelly? I just think they're too good. FSU looked okay. Their running game looked very good. So I have to look out for that, but it's LSU. I think Brian Kelly's gonna give them an uptick this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's interesting. So I picked LSU. I think Florida State is going to have a better year this year. I think this could be a year where, for Mike Norvell, they are actually kind of competitive in the ACC. But LSU game opener. I just think they're too talented to lose in that situation.
Yeah, gotta watch out for Keyshawn Booty in this game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This one I forgot to put it on the script, so it's the over/under for this game here is 50. How do we feel about 50 points on a Sunday night?
I like the over on that one, to be honest with you. I think it could be kind of a high scoring affair.
All right. I think I am leaning under, like just under though. And this is at 7:30 on Sunday night, ABC. FCS game of the week. Yes, we are bringing this back for a second straight year, even though I'm the only one that pays attention to these games. Number 9, Southern Illinois at number 14, Incarnate Word. Look, I have no knowledge of these teams right now, but taking not just the higher ranked team, but in general, SIU is normally better than UIW anyways. Love me some Salukis. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Saluki strong here.
I actually got 3 reasons again for why I picked the Salukis. 1, the higher ranking. 2, Salukis is just a great name. I mean, they could have just named them Huskies or like whatever, but they took the time, they put in the work, and they got a really cool mascot out of it. And 2, Incarnate Word lost their quarterback to the transfer portal, talented Cameron Ward. So I think that's going to be an adjustment period for them. Go Salukis.
That they did. Yeah. Cameron Ward was electric at UW. And I don't have any spreads or anything because they don't put those out for these FCS games. This one, however, 7 p.m. ESPN Plus. Only reason it's probably on ESPN Plus is because of SIU, because they play in the MVC and MVFC, because that's what everyone's like. Oh no, it has to be the Missouri Valley Football Conference. Can't just be the Missouri Valley Conference anymore.
Yeah.
But probably because of SIU, because the Missouri Valley has contract with ESPN. Next week, we'll be back on Friday. We'll be recapping the kickoff game. We'll see if I'm still hungover or not from bar review on kickoff night.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be recapping Bills Rams, talking about the upcoming slate of college football week 2, and we'll be previewing NFL week 1. That we will.
Yes, sir. Do they have the bar? Do they have the bar set for next week already?
No, they won't
No?
send it out till like Wednesday. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Mark has taken over our Instagram, so we're gonna get some fire posts from him. And then definitely at FAA_bets. That thing is going to start turning out winners come week 1 NFL next week. Where I'm already zeroed in. I'm close. I'm close to getting my pick for Bills Rams here next week. And then, of course, our website, faapodcast.com. Check us out there where all our shows are archived. Apologies for the long show, 3.5 hours. A lot to get through. I know. I appreciate Logan for being here the entire time.
Hey, week 1, we had to preview the season. That's all right.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be back on Monday. Make sure to catch our Monday show. We'll be giving out Super Bowl picks and NFL awards picks as well. MVP, Offensive Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Defensive Rookie of the Year, Head Coach of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year. Do not want to miss that show. All right. Thank y'all for watching again, and we'll see you back